and you're in the Desert Storm bunker with Hollywood CGA.
Legends ain't born, they built from the grind. From benches to banners, we sharpen the mind. We sharpen the sword and promise and swore that we going hard and leaving it all on the floor. Hey, yeah, we going hard and leaving it all on the floor. Hey, yeah, we going hard and leaving it all on the floor. Legends ain't born, they built from the grind. From benches to banners, we sharpen the mind. We sharpen the sword and promise and swore that we going hard and leaving it all on the floor.
What's going on, everybody? It is Coach Greg Adams back in here with another YouTube live stream. Shout out to the Coach Gang. That be you for being in here, being involved, and being active on this YouTube channel. And welcome back to the Boss Up Show, Saturday morning edition. Part of the Free Agent Lifestyle podcast here on the Free Agent Lifestyle channel. You in Australia with the Bruce Wayne of this ish. The King of Kings, the King of Content, and the Speaker of Truth. Yours truly, the Notorious One, a.k.a. Mr. Coachellini, better known as the Prognosticator, Coach Stradamus. And you're in Sydney, Australia, with none other than Hollywood CGA and EWF, that is Every Woman's Fantasy, and the whole fucking show. I'm the CEO, Nigga of Fixes Binds, LLC. The unbinder, the undebatable, the undisputed best entertainment here on YouTube. You can call me Senor Gregorio Graybeard. The ladies in Australia like to call me Mr. Third Leg Greg. Also the man with one trabajo. That is the Mitch Slapper, the ecclesiastical Mitch Slapper. You're looking at the anointed one, the founding father of the After Pill. The junior college sociologist, the Morpheus of the mating matrix, the chocolated Confucius, the Black Moses, the deliverer, also known as the man that walks in the spirit of Elijah. I'm the man with more nicknames than anyone in the game. But in case you forget those names, just call me the Australian good A mate. CGA, see God Allah, and I be the 14-time demonetized champion of YouTube. Today, I'm looking at kangaroos. I'm going to go look at kangaroos today. And maybe a couple of bangaroos in the building. Anyway, we got a great show for you lined up today. It's a Saturday morning here, or Saturday afternoon for you in the United States of America. It is Sunday morning here. It is almost 6:30 in the morning, and getting my day started. Yesterday, caught up with a lot of sleep. That jet lag was catching up to me, so I had to take it easy, and it's going to be a long trip. So I didn't want to wear myself down, but we're going to kick it back in gear today. With a couple of tours and a bangaroo to end my last 2 days here in Sydney, Australia. And I'll give you the synopsis, whether this is a place for you to visit, excuse me, whether this is a place for you to put on your destinations, or should you skip Sydney, Australia, especially then if you're a passport bro. All right, we also have a passport bro here that's going to give you an indication. He landed in Thailand, and he realized it was nothing but a red light district, and the women are selling punani there, and he's quite disappointed. We also have the main event topic. A woman says she was married, but she fell in love with another man and doesn't know what quite to do. So she has reached out to her TikTok audience, and we're going to take a look at this predicament of a young woman who got married young and then eventually now wants to pivot into possibly some polyamory lifestyle. All right, living and getting banged out by multiple men while married, aka the bait and switch in the marriage wheel. We're going to talk about that coming up in the main event. We also have some straggles and some sniggles, and we're going to kick it on a live Saturday for you guys. Appreciate y'all for being here. Do me a favor, hit the like button so we can alert people here that we are on live. And as you can see, when you're not on your normal schedule, people don't show up. You know, they're like, oh, I didn't know you were alive. But we're live, and we're going to give you a great show nonetheless. Anyway, we got that and much more. But to contribute to today's show, $ the Notorious CGA on the Cash App. It is Venmo, Coach Greg Adams TV. PayPal is paypal.me/Coach Greg Adams. And that is near the top of the description box on the Free Agent Lifestyle channel. And you can still super chat by clicking the link on the top of the live chat on the Free Agent Lifestyle channel. Good luck to all of you people out here Black Friday weekend shopping as well, because it is the weekend and you guys are out there getting your shopping on. Last night, I was walking around the streets of Sydney, Australia, and they had the mall open really late. All right, the Linglings were running around the mall like crazy. All right, the malls were open late. People were out on the Saturday. I got to see the weekend activity on the Saturday and a Friday. I had a nice little flat-backed woman Friday night, and we were walking the town. She was a tall drink of water. All right, she was 5'9" with no heels on. All right, so she was about 6'1" standing next to me in high heels. And as you guys know, I am vertically challenged. So people were, all right, people were looking over at us like, oh, the humanity. And I'll get to show you that on Locals. All right, we show that on Locals because there's a lot of goofy niggas that can't handle the reality of the monetized dating marketplace. They're still fighting it. And oh, too bad. They're going to lose. Oh, well. All right, so let me get to the earlier contributors to today's show. And there's already some people got some action over on Venmo. Shout out to my Venmo contributors. It is, let's see, Jaime Torres says, checking in with the coach gang. I have to catch up on Locals in the Money Mindset. Thanks for all that you do. I'll be there in Australia in February and we'll be attending the Bad Bunny concert. Can't wait to grind up on some of them Aussie flatbacks from the JUCO. Enjoy your vacation, coach, and much respect. Shout out to you. And that will be somewhere around the time Bad Bunny's going to be performing at the Super Bowl. So Bad Bunny's going to be busy blowing around here, and he's going to bring in a whole bunch of flatbacks for the Bad Bunny concert. So that's going to be fun for you and fun for everybody else surrounding here in Sydney, Australia, mate. Shout out to Hustle Every Day. He says, coach down under clapping cheeks. He says, enjoy the Big Island hopping. Also, flower, sir. You've changed the young man's minds of the future. And he says right here, and how they deal with relationships. Trust me, everybody jacking your talking points and perspectives. Oh, I mean, I hate to keep talking about it, but man, I see a guy. He basically, I don't know, it was his post just started getting suggested to me. And he basically just ripping the free agent lifestyle off, like, and not giving me credit. He's telling people, you know, don't get a car loan, you know, until you get this. Like, this basically word for word verbatim of the free agent lifestyle. Now, listen, most of these things have been said before me, but, you know, people know my influence and around the world and whatnot. So it's basically him. Anytime I see a video suggested by him on Instagram, it's basically him saying, oh, live the free agent lifestyle, get your finances right. You know, don't get a car loan until this. I mean, word for word, right? It's just like, holy mackerel. All right. And it's sad because, you know, it's sad. It's just sad that's where we are. Now, there is something happening, and I have to acknowledge a thing that is happening that is forcing more people to talk about these type of topics. Number one, you got to realize that the free agent lifestyle philosophy was put out almost 7-8 years ago. All right, so it's 8 years old. Now, the people that are now coming into this worldview of dating and relationships, let's say they're 25. Well, they were 18, roughly 19 when I wrote the book and was putting out the majority of my content. At that time, when you're 19 and 18 and maybe 20 and 22, you weren't listening to the free agent lifestyle. You weren't listening to CGA, right? You probably weren't listening to any relationship content or any relationship advice other than Cold Approach, right? So that was not your mindset to learn about women and relationships and dating, certainly not marriage and divorce. You were probably still at the club, barely trying to get in, hating from the outside, but can't get in. You weren't locked in 2018, 2019, 2020, when I was on the peak rise of this channel, right? So you weren't locked in. Thus, anytime you probably might have heard me, right? It was shadow banned. It was probably difficult to hear me. You still were optimistic about dating and relationships. And this goes into it where Gen Z, these people are now getting the reality check that I warned people about, right? So you thought you were 18, 19, 20, and 21. You were still going to be too cool for school. You still were going to get hoes. These women were going to line up. So now you're 28, 30, 31, and you're getting a reality check. So this is what happens is a lot of the content creators that you're seeing now were in their early 20s or teenage years when I was putting out the early parts of my information. They weren't listening. Now, some of them have probably saw me and listened to me, and people in that sphere, right? People were aware of it, but they weren't taking notes. Now that they got a reality check, they're now putting out their version of what I put out, which other people had put out prior to me. Okay, so they're in a new space. Even the women are in the new space. Of the women today that are putting out relationship content, 10 years ago, they were barely 20 years old. Okay, certainly 8 years ago, they were in their 20s, right? Early 20s. Now that they're approaching that 28, 29, 30, they're putting out their reality check of what happened to them, because reality hits us in the ass crazy, right? Here's what happens. And when everybody graduated high school, everybody thought everybody's going to be successful. All right, we're going to be successful. There's going to be no losers, no people that go homeless. There's going to be, everybody's going to be a celebrity, rich, famous, and all that stuff. And then 5, 10, 15 years, when you go back to the high school reunion, you get a reality check. People are fat, they're overweight, they lost their weight, they're broke, right? They're not successful. And then you have a small percentage of people that actually became successful. This is what's happening to the relationship content. Okay. Okay. So the relationship content is being, more and more people are putting out the same thing that we were saying 5, 10, 15 years ago, because now it's relevant to them. As for me, I'm older, right? So I'm an OG. Okay. So, right. All right. I'm an OG. So everybody's like, oh, this old guy is talking about relationships and dating. Like, to me, this is why, one of the reasons why I'm starting to pivot is because everything that I've been talking about and addressing the last 5 to 10 years, it's common knowledge, it's common information, it's a common post. That's why I have to kind of pivot to different type of content, sugar daddy content, because that's going to be relevant 5 years down the line. It's going to be more, it's going to be more triggering today, as opposed to me talking about relationships and free agent lifestyle. It's not as triggering, but literally it was getting me shadow banned and demonetized 5 years ago. Right? It was that triggering 5 years ago. Today, it's common. 5 years ago, I was getting demonetized. You see the difference? So that's why I have to pivot towards Hollywood CGA, all right, sugar daddy content, because I'm an older guy. I'm 55. I'm not supposed to be. I'm 50, not 55 yet. I'm 50. I'm not in the dating game. I shouldn't be in the dating game. I shouldn't be. I can help people with life advice. Okay, but and dating advice and marriage advice, I can still help you there. But for me to come from the perspective of, I'm currently in the dating marketplace, this is what's happening to me, I'm old. All right, they're gonna be like, well, you're an old guy, you ain't got no game, you should be going to bed at 9 o'clock, you shouldn't be hanging out at night at the club, you shouldn't be dating younger women, right? So that's why I have to pivot, right? I have to start talking about that, because that's more in my lane. People would more accept me. Oh, he's some sugar daddy trick. All right, yeah, okay, that's a conversation. All right, that would be expected. But for me to come out here and say, you know what's wrong with Bumble and Tinder? You know what's wrong with modern dating? Yeah, I look foolish. All right. Although Kevin Samuels was able to do it, his target market was not people in their 20s and 30s. His target market were people 35, 40, 50, 55, and 60. Okay. His target market, Fresh and Fit's target market was 18, 19, 20, 22, 24. All right. Kevin Samuels probably got the attention of more people 35 and up. As a result, you know, that dating marketplace is a disaster. Other than that, I like that you addressed that. My man said people jacking your talking points is pathetic. And, you know, you can't have a business model set to address these talking points, because this partial knowledge, it's not even full knowledge that they're giving you. They're basically just carbon copying a group of men's talking points without any thorough game or knowledge behind it. That can only get you so far. And certainly they can't create a business model around it, which is going to mean they're going to get a couple of likes and a couple of follows, but they don't know how to follow through, because here's the reality. And this is what men don't want to hear. And this is what Black men don't want to hear. And I've heard this criticism a lot about me. The game is to be sold, not told. Okay. If you don't have any structure around anything you're teaching, and you're just going to say, oh, this, and this is an opinion, it's just an opinion. And opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one, and they all stink. The reality is, if you want to survive in this game, you better have some background, some knowledge, some actual practical knowledge of what you're talking about. Can't just come out here and say men are in love, women are in business, and then think that's going to fly. Yeah, you get 100,000 likes on your Instagram post, and maybe they'll give credit to Andrew Tate or a guy that drives some cars, some fancy cars. but at the end of the day, you don't got no practical experience around it, and it ain't gonna help you. All right, you're not gonna be a household name like the Notorious one. Although I'm yet to be real recognized here in Sydney, Australia. All right, this is pretty rare for me, rare air, never to be recognized somewhere. But when the reality is the game is to be sold, not told. People are blaming me for selling books to people. All right, a black man can't write a book. All right, it's pathetic. All right, I can't write a book and sell it. I can't sell the secrets within the book. All right, he just wants to sell you a book. Bingo. All right, yeah, of course. All right, of course, because that's where the knowledge is. You're not gonna just get knowledge on YouTube and a couple of red pill rangers rage baiting you on dating and relationships. You're gonna get stuck, right? Because they have no way to unstick you. They have no way to get you out of that. Okay, all you're gonna get into is a rage bait conversation, watching trigger rage bait, which to me I can't even watch anymore. To be honest with you, okay, I can't even watch rage bait, red pill stuff. It drives me crazy, and that goes for the content creators that are popular in the space, because you can tell they're not teaching you anything, and it's sad. I mean, listen, they're getting some followers, they're getting some likes, but I can't even watch the continued red pill rage bait perpetrated by even veteran content creators in this space on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube Shorts. It is mind-boggling that people are still resorting to rage bait topics without context, without information and knowledge, without a lesson plan to get people unstuck from it. All right, maybe that's the way to get them in, but it's crazy. It's crazy. So anyway, do me a favor, just give me the likes, don't pass the scroll. Mugga 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 mullo. Again, I think what people don't realize, and as a content creator, when Instagram stopped doing reels and I stopped focusing on Instagram for about a year and a half, I post there mostly stories. But I post there every now and then, maybe once a week, twice a week. Certainly when I'm traveling, I'll post more or doing something. What people don't realize is the followers are one thing, but can you turn it to business is another thing. That's the thing about social media. So yeah, you can get people to follow. And I'm of the opinion that red pill ragers are the absolute worst people to have you following or to have follow you. These are the worst. If you're developing a business model around anything, niggas and red pill ragers are the absolute worst target market to develop your business and following out of. Now, if you want them to follow you and fill up your comment section and engagement with comments and posts, go for it. But the worst people to formulate a business around are red pill ragers and niggies. Right? These people do not support at the rate that you would need them to support. They don't buy books. They don't do anything. They don't go to meetups. They don't do any of these things. These are the worst people to make content for. So I have pretty much backed away from producing content like that, because these are horrible people to turn around and have you support. Right? They're horrible. These men are horrible. They're terrible. And you often seem to pivot towards me doing more top 20% lifestyle. All right, this type of thing, boss up. All right, this type of thing. All right, the men complaining, I used to like you, but you turned into this Hollywood CGA. Get the fuck out of my face. Get out of here. Who cares? All right, you were nobody to me to begin with. Who are you? All right, get out of here. Leave. All right, who gives a fuck about you? You've never clearly gave a fuck about me. So get out of here. You're a useless eater to me. So anyway, we raising the bar. You see me start pivoting towards that type of content because I know I was going to leave about probably 50% of my audience that was my audience behind, because they're not ready to make a move. They're not ready to make a move. They just sitting around here complaining about a situation that they're not going to fix anytime soon. So money mindset is another one of these pivots where I'm like, okay, we're going for a different target audience. All right. Whereas this conversation still can include some watchers, but it's not targeted towards you anymore. Right. The last 2 or 3 years is certainly not targeted to you, because they're pointless to target your content to. Again, as I said, the game is sold. The game is to be sold, not told. All right. That's the way you survive. I'm not here for your viewing pleasures. I'm not your cheap entertainment. I ain't your savior in the JUCO content. the luxury dating strategies. All right, no, I can't afford that. 750. So too bad. If you can't afford 750, you're not supposed to be luxury dating at all. you can't afford it. All right, I clearly made that indication here. That's certainly this is not for you. Go back to broke dating, which I told you not to, or boss up, get your bag up. But if you're complaining about the cost of the luxury dating course, the course is designed for people who want to invest, immediately go into that type of like dating, monetized dating. That's designed for people who want to go into it, not to pique your curiosity, not to see let me see what's going on over here. It's not. So if I sell 10 courses, which I've already sold more than that, but let's just say that if I only sold 10, those 10 guys are going to benefit from it. I don't need people over here. Let me just see what he's talking about over here. So if you don't have 750, you don't need to be luxury dating. You don't even need to know what it is. You don't even know what the inside of luxury dating is. It's just going to make you a red pill raging guy. All right. So that's why its price point to that. All right. Anyway, I think our coupon code still stands over here. All right. Let me see if it still stands here. We'll do it live. And people are like, nobody's going to buy it. No, a certain group of people aren't going to buy it, which is fine with me. I don't need them to buy it. Trust me, we're good. The people who bought it and got it, enjoyed it, and they're putting it to great use. The people who weren't going to buy it anyway, you weren't going to buy it anyway at all. So it's a good win-win. But let me tell you, that course will always be alive for the next few years. And as more people get a reality check, they're going to start looking for that type of content, and that type of content will continue to be available. All right, because I can continue to monetize that course for the next 5 to 10 years. Yeah, and increase the content of that one. So let me see if the course coupon is still alive. Okay, so it is. You can still get a 10% discount. And look at this. All right, I'm looking at my sales of this course. When I promote this course, CGA, I have a coupon code that I'm going to put in the description box. I can track which coupon code and which full price items sold the most. So I sold more full price items. That meant men that didn't use any coupon code at all. All right. I've sold more, and that was to my private group. All right. That was also to the typical YouTube audience, but I've sold more at full price. The second group I sold more to were the Shield. Okay. So those are the people who already contributed hundreds of dollars on Money Mindset on Locals. So they got a separate discount code. That's the second most that I've sold to. I've sold 0 courses to people when I posted in the live stream. None. Okay, zip. All right, so watch what I'm doing right here. You see this? The monetized data. This is what shows you who be out here doing what. So look at this. I just posted that link, and I also sold some to people who I've sent the mass email out to. All right, a mass email out to on my email list, and I got a lot of people right there. So there's almost 10,000 people over on my email list, and these are people that got my book. All right, my free ebook. Well, I've sold some to them too. You know who I've sold none to? Watch this. 0 have used this coupon code. 0. All right. As I told you, the game is to be sold, not told. It basically tells me, look, I've sold more to less people. These people that are over here in that small audience of the Money Mindset and Locals, they bought way more than the people that sat over here, right, and clicked that link. 0, which tells you you got to know content strategy. In order to monetize yourself, you better have an idea of how to create a group within a group, because your YouTube group ain't the group. All right, it ain't it. Don't ever, content creators, stop thinking your YouTube group, the people who watch you for free, are going to be your main supporters. They're not. They're going to be booger pickers. There's going to be leeches and parasites. Yep, that's who it is. All right, it is what it is. Yep, the 80-20 rule. All right, it's the business behind social media. So this is a loss leader. All right, my YouTube streams are kind of more of a loss leader. right? To get more people in that will get in there and to invest. All right, so if that was a lesson, the game is to be sold, not told. All right, anyway, and I guarantee you, I've sent more people to OnlyFans content creators, and you've bought women's OnlyFans. These are just people watching my streams. Men have bought more OnlyFans content from OnlyFans creator than have sent me money. I'm not complaining about it. What I'm saying is, this is something that I've had to realize as a content creator. When I show a woman on this site and you can see her name, men have clicked on their links and supported them. All right. And haven't given me any. And I know this for a fact because those same guys end up suggesting more content from these content creators. All right. I'm like, what? I featured a person once on my screen, and then now I'm getting more and more content suggestions from the guys of my audience about what this person is doing. You know them by name, you know them, their relationship information. I mean, it's mind-boggling what I've learned about this space. And you can learn about more of that from me, from Money Mindset, because I talk about this being a content creator and what it comes down to, what you should know and what you shouldn't know. You would have to know, man, I'm a 2-time platinum award-winning artist, two-time 100,000 plus K, fully demonetized channels. All right. I've done this. I know how to do this. So go ahead and check that out on the Money Mindset. Anyway, let's get into this part of the show. And then we're going to come back to it. We're going to go into straggles and sniggles. Let's have a little bit of fun.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right?
Straggle and Sniggle Theater, let's go. All right, let's get some straggles and some sniggles going on here. Let's get some fun in the down under. We got Straggle and Sniggle Theater. What is on you niggas' minds here? We're going to start over here. I know y'all got girls on your mind 24/7, but at some point, you don't have to always have girls on your mind. Let's take you to this particular video on Wheel of Fortune. Maybe you've seen this before. Check out what this nigga does to solve this puzzle. The phrase is, category is things. Vanna White, old ass, still out here. She was 18 doing the show. Now she's 58 years old, still out here turning letters. And she quiet too. She is the dream of a white man. All right, Vanna White out here. We got Wheel of Fortune.
Corinne.
Minors and hoes.
No. Stacy.
Fingers and toes.
That's it.
Oh my goodness, damn. All right, where is the Price is Wrong button out here? Minors and hoes. All right, yeah, that brother starving. All right, goodness gracious, in the Navy ass nigga. Really? Minors and hoes? All right, and then they went to fingers and toes, all right, which is not that far off from minors and hoes. Minors and hoes, all right, he need to be ashamed of himself. Bruh, this is crazy. The mind of the black man. Always on some puss. Always on some puss.
Yeah.
Look at Joan. What's her name? Stacy. All right, look at Stacy with this damn wig on here. That damn look like a wig.
Now, I want you to understand, we're laughing with you.
No, they laughing at that nigga. Come on, nigga. All right, come on, nigga. The real problem is niggerism. Minors and hoes. Minors and hoes. That's what he came up with.
Corinne.
Minors and hoes.
No.
He's shocked too, huh? Look how he's shocked. All right, man, I'm going to tell you, man. I'm going to tell you. The real problem is niggerism. All right, you will find that out, man. There's something wrong with the black man. There's something wrong with the black man. All right, let's get back to the next one here. We have a woman that's out here going to tell you the truth about what she really looking like on Pop the Bubble, Pop the Balloon. Here we go right here. Pop the Balloon contestant is going to tell you what she's really looking for in a relationship, or she's going to tell you about her background.
Sudden Pop. What's your name and age?
My name is Africa. I'm 36.
Okay, what do you do?
I do me.
What you mean by that?
I do me. Whatever I want to do. When I want to do it.
Like what?
Whatever I want to do. I sing, I dance, I sell crack, I babysit, I fuck bitches, baby fathers and shit like that. Whatever I want to do. Start a new bit. Whatever I want to do.
All right, man almighty. Take a look at this. Name the city she's from. All right, she does whatever she wants to do. She dances and sings. She sells punani to women's baby daddies. And also, she sells crack, or maybe she just gives punani to baby daddies. All right, she out here in these streets. All right,
I do it. I do me. I do me.
Okay. Why you call sudden pop? What's your name and age?
My name is Africa. I'm 36.
And what do you do?
I do me.
What you mean by that?
I do me. Whatever I want to do. When I want to do it.
Like what?
Whatever I want to do. I sing, I dance, I sell crack, I babysit, I fuck bitches, baby mother.
all right. And look at the sisters in the background. Look at the look at that big red bone in the background right here. All right, she like, what the hell? All right, you already knew she was crazy. Crack. Yeah, she got the body like she sell crack. All right, man. What city is that? Birmingham? Birmingham, Alabama, you say. New York? All right, Chicago too. Definitely not Sydney, Australia. Again, when you leave niggas, you realize they are the problem. We're going to talk about this later. All right, here we go right here. Strago Sniggle Theater. We have Sugar Free, the pimp, in the building. Shout out to Sugar Free. Do you have the stomach? All right, Sugar Free is going to drop some P-level game on a square, a L7 square. Shout out to the L7s out here, you square, you lames. Sugar Free going to drop a lesson for y'all. And I actually agree with Sugar Free here. All right, so here we go. Sugar Free, let it rip.
If your girl that you really like, say this guy over here told me he'd give me $2,000 to fuck me in the bathroom real quick.
I'd give her $2,000 to stay by me.
You better watch that bitch, nigga. You better watch that bitch gone. She gonna get trick money and your money. Step your game up, P. That ain't pimping. You gonna get your ass on a cross.
I don't know if I would handle it the way Sugar Free handled it. I'd probably handle it my way.
That ain't pimp shit. These bitches don't belong to us. If you're
all right, Sugar Free the pimp, you know, do you have the stomach? You guys know how I feel about pimps. All right, but I don't disagree with Sugar Free here. Pimps do be right most of the time. All right, they just don't. Their follow through is messed up. All right, what happened to my screen? Where's Sugar Free? All right, where's Sugar Free at? Oh, there he is, right there. All right, so Sugar Free is right on this situation. Sometimes lames and squares do make the wrong decision. Okay, so that ain't P. That ain't P-ish. So if you miss what happened was, Sugar Free says, essentially, do you have the stomach? That's what he's saying. And then he also concludes with the thought that I agree with. These women don't belong to us. All right, we're just having fun with them. They're temporary. They come and go. All right, we change them like draws. You know, even if you were in a short-term relationship with them, you could get 10 years out of a woman. None of you are getting life with women. None of you guys are getting life. So I agree with Sugar Free on both of those. Okay, these women are all they're just ours. Okay, the Y is silent. All right, they're yours. All right, they're for all of us. Now, here's where Sugar Free actually messes up the square game. Which I agree again with Sugar Free on here. This is an interesting thing. Again, P's are not always wrong. Sugar Free tries to give him a scenario, the indecent proposal, in which a woman comes up to her boyfriend and says, which is a rare situation, but a woman says, hey, this guy says that he would sleep with me and give me $2,000. Indecent proposal. What would you do in that situation? The guy says, well, I would just give her $2,000. All right, so she doesn't have to do it. Well, here's the thing. Sugar Free is right. The fact that the woman brought up the fact that she was entertaining the $2,000, she wanted to see if you had the stomach. Now, people are going to say this scenario is not going to happen. The main event is this exact scenario. Not exactly the money part, but the fact is this woman wanted to open up her marriage to go ethically non-monogamous and then eventually wanted to go poly. So this scenario does happen. The money's not always there. It could just be a lifestyle, a situation she wants to get into. That's more common. But Sugar Free said, bro, she getting the trick money and she getting your money if you do that, which is true. If you give a woman, your girlfriend says, hey, look, this guy's interested in me. He's looking to fund my lifestyle. And you say, nah, I don't want you to do that. I'll just fund the lifestyle for you. She's going to get both ends of the money. That's typically how women's mind work. They're just going to say, okay, I'll take your money. And then 6 weeks later, she'll take his money because the money and the lifestyle you gave her going to run out. That rent that you paid for her is going to be new rent due. Okay. That little $2,000 you gave her, she going to spend it. So Sugar Free is right. She going to get the trick money. She going to get your money and the trick money. You gave her $2,000. She going to get the other $2,000. Right. This is the fact. This is this is how women's mind work. So you ain't saving her. She don't want to be saved. The fact that she brought it up to you, she was trying to see if you had the stomach. Let me replay it again for the L7s, the lames, and the squares out here. Okay, this is, and you can say the same about social media. You're trying to tell these women they don't need other men's attention or other people's attention. They could just depend on your attention on social media. What does she do? She's like, I'll take your attention and the social media attention. That don't stop them from getting the attention. Right? You cannot be the end all be all for women. That's basically what he's saying. And, you know, I know people want to just make it about the money, but no, that's what he's saying. He's like, bro, for all of us, you're never going to be the end all. You're never going to be able to give her the amount of attention she can get from the world, other men, other women. You can't stop it by saying, just delete that and I'll give you all the attention. So shout out to Sugar Free here for teaching this lesson, because it's the truth. Okay, you squares don't realize that these are your women. These are our women. The Y is silent.
A girl that you really like. Say, this guy over here told me he'd give me $2,000 to fuck me in the bathroom real quick.
I'd give her $2,000 to stay by me.
You better watch that bitch, nigga. You better watch that bitch gone. She gonna get trick money and your money.
All right, she's gonna get trick money and your money. That's the truth. You can put this on anything. You can tell your wife, you know what? You don't look. Let me give you another scenario, just because people get confused by this. Let's say you have a woman. I want to make you my wife. You don't have to work anymore. I'll support you. How far is that gonna go? She's gonna say okay, and then eventually she's gonna get to that point. You're gonna support her for a period of time, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, and then eventually she's gonna say, I want to go back to work. I can't just depend on your money. She might feel like it's a prison. Okay, I got your money and support. You're going to continue to give me money and support me, but I'm also going to go get a job. That's trick money and your money. And then what are you going to say? Okay. What are you going to tell her? No? All right, because again, now you're in an ecclesiastical marriage. Now she's going to want to dip on you. Oh, you're trying to control me. It's the same principle. It's the same principle what he's saying here. And what guys believe is that they're going to outpay the next person. No, you're not. She's going to get both ends. She's going to figure out how to get both ends. That's what Sugar Free's trying to teach you right here. She's going to figure out how to get both ends. All right. It's crazy. This is crazy mindset, but a lot of you guys think that that's the case. No, it's not.
Step your game up, P. That ain't pimping. You're going to get your ass on a cross.
I don't know if I would handle it the way Sugar Free handled it. I'd probably handle it my way.
That ain't pimp shit. These bitches don't belong to us.
Yeah, shout out to Sugar Free out here, the legendary original P. All right. Well, he ain't the original P, but shout out to Sugar Free for having to teach these men these lessons. It's sad. All right. But guys think y'all gonna own these women. You do not own them. You do not own them. You're just renting them for a temporary period of time, trading money, energy, attention, and time. All right. You paying in some way. And eventually, yo bitch gonna be gone. That's too short. All right. That's too short. All my bitches are gone. Shout out to Ann Banks and Too Short. All right, we have Straggle Sniggle Theater. So women drive cars. All right, we have this situation here. I thought it was a skit, but apparently this woman has crashed up on somebody's property and it didn't go well.
Yeah.
What happened? You hit a few cars, huh? Are you okay?
Mm.
What's wrong?
Nothing.
Did you hit a few cars? Did you hit a few cars?
No.
You sure? Your car looks pretty banged up. You need an ambulance?
Oh no. Oh my.
I don't think that's a little, that might not be safe to use for consumption. This your house?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Well, just want to be helpful. So what happened?
Oh, she gone. All right, dong, Undertaker bell. All right, oh, the humanity. All right, I don't think she with us right there. Oh, the humanity. All right, take a look at this. All right, look at this. All right, yeah. What city is this? What city is this? Rock Springs, Wyoming. This is somewhere on Long Island for sure. We got Nassau or Suffolk County. This woman out here, Trixie, has lost it. Shout out to her for dressing feminine and ecclesiastically, and yeah, they're in all of that. Did she pass out? All All right, that's called huffing. Black people, that's called huffing. All right, white people like to huff shit. All right, for cheap highs in low income areas. So the poors are not just black people, they're also poor white people, trailer park trash. For some reason, my screen has been, okay, hold on for a second. Let me see what I'm doing here. All right, my screen is bugging on my StreamYard. I don't know what to do here. Let me see if I can do this live. All right, what? All right, this is a crazy. It's a disgrace. My screen is like this small. I can't even see anything. Hold on for a second. Oh, it's a mistake. All right, let me see if I can do this. Oh man, it keeps getting worse and worse. All right, there we go. I guess I have to spread it across the screen. All right, white folks, black folks, white people get high off cheap highs. In Florida. It's also Florida. Never forget about Florida. How many more Straggle and Sniggles we got? We got one more. We got Straggle and Sniggle Theater. We're going back to Long Island, New York. What a shock. All right, Long Island, New York, a woman who was previously arrested for selling punani out of a truck that looks like a hot dog vendor faces stalking charges and loitering. All right, so let's take you to Long Island, New York again. A woman here uses a hot dog vendor truck to sell punani. All right, here we go.
Sex for money and disguising her operation with a hot dog truck that she ran in Baldwin.
So a Long Island woman who became known as the hot dog hooker has set up shop once again, but outside of her East Rockaway home.
All right, and once again, she's offering more than just hot dogs. Here's Carrie Drew.
Get a wiggle with your wiener. You may remember the name Catherine Scalia. We first told you about her nearly 4 years ago when she became known in the press as the so-called hot dog hooker. Scalia sold hot dogs out of a trailer dressed only in a bikini and was busted for offering sex to an undercover cop.
I solicited an undercover officer. I didn't know that was going to happen. I told this guy to come to my house. I'm going to do a strip. We're going to have fun, and you're going to go home, and that's going to be the end. I didn't know I was going to be in cuffs all over the news again.
At the time, she was sentenced to 7 days behind bars.
When I gave the undercover cop the lap dance, I had pants on. And when I did it, all I showed him.
Oh, look at them saggy waggies over here.
Was this. I didn't even go topless.
Now Scalia is at it again.
They're real. These aren't silicone.
Oh my goodness, she's a piece of work over here. All right, look at that. Oh my goodness, she is a real piece of work right here. And she said they're real. Of course, them saggy ass waggies are real. All right, you didn't think they was real? Them saggy ass waggies. All right, I don't mind saggy waggies, but Jesus. All right, of course they're real over here. Look at them, not silicone. You know she smokes packs of cigarettes. All right, this is crazy.
Here she is posing outside her East Rockaway home, offering lap dances to those who drive by. She says what she's doing is legal.
To the younger generation out there, do your lap dances. It's safe and it's legal.
But those who live nearby have had enough. There are dozens of complaints on a Facebook page called "You Know You're From East Rockaway" and neighbors say Scalia's behavior has been going on for a long time.
She's been selling punani out of this wagon for a long time. So has your mama. All right, here's the thing. A lot of y'all realizing your mama was selling punani right out of her apartment complex. Certainly some of y'all sisters and aunts were. This is the thing. Long Island, New York, far Rockaway here. All right. Right there, the neighbors is watching her sell pussy out of a goddamn van here. This is crazy. They like, she been doing it forever. All right. Okay. They realize that they've been going on. All right. And she got the punani for the money. If she got the money for the punani.
That sign has been there for many years.
My kids are going to see that. It's disgusting. I don't know how she keeps getting away with it.
Because her husbands are over there. So are the police officers too. All right. Hey, look, your fans and family members been out there nutting in this woman. All right. So just so they know, her husband been over there a couple of times. He know her very well, intimately.
Still, Scalia says she has no plans to stop, even using the Fox 5 cameras to promote her dancing.
I got another 20 years to go before I drop dead. So I want you to send all the guys to 12 Maxwell Street, East Rockaway, lunch and a lap dance from the Queen.
Oh my goodness.
The mayor of East Rockaway told Fox 5 that it's unfortunate that this is happening in a residential area, and they're working with police on this issue. Nassau County Police told us that Scalia has violated a village zoning ordinance, and if her sign doesn't come down, a summons will be issued under the Adult Entertainment Cabaret law. Police also told us they will continue to monitor the situation and intensify patrols.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right, Mr. Copper. All right, the coppers over there. We're going to go over here. We're going to monitor the situation from afar over there. We're going to go over there with our binocs, and then we're going to see what's going on over there. Who's going over there and getting a you-know-what over there. But I stick it up a rose over, rubber hose over there. All right, and the mayor's over there like, yeah, she's been a problem for years. I don't know how to deal with her at all. So I'm going to go over there and check on her from time to time and see what we can do. All right, over here, the lady, she's crazy. Right. And if she brings up the fact that I got a couple of dances, well, she's lying, I tell you. Why I order this bitch over here. Anyway, that's Straggle and Sniggle Theater. Oh, the humanity.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right?
Straggle and Sniggle Theater out. Shout out to the Coach Gang, man. Let's get this other banner up here on the building. Good day, mate, from Australia. Shout out to you guys. We're doing a Saturday stream because I missed out on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. No, I did Friday. It's Saturday for you, but it's Sunday over here. It's 7 in the morning in Sydney, Australia. All right, we're in the future, broadcasting from the year 2032 in Sydney, Australia. All right, we'll talk about Sydney, Australia, whether it's the JUCO capital of the world. Hey, the dollar's cheap here. Just so you guys know, the dollar is cheap. Okay, the dollar is cheap. The Australian dollar is cheap here. Okay, so you're going to get a bang for your buck. Okay, now they're going to ask for a certain amount. It's going to be a discount over there. Okay, you can go over there. Now, it's a hell of a flight to get over here. And I'm going to tell you, there's other places you're going to go to make it cheaper. But, you're going to get bang for your buck over here. The dollar's weak over here, the Australian dollar, or the Australian pound, if you will. You're going to get a pound for a pound. We got our brother Jacob says, hey, coach, he said, what you're saying is true about the Red Pill creators I watched from 2018 to 2022. We're talking about what you just said, but they lead me to you because it was the free agent lifestyle. Like, what the hell? I'm cold approaching and I'm getting that for free. But then I realized we pay free agent lifestyle in Florida. Shout out to you. So the dating coaches, the pickup artistry, all funny things here. Well, I always have to say, what they're teaching you is actually bad things that are going to get you stuck, like the cold approach technique, which is funny to me because if you just take your time to think about this as a solution, I want you to think about this. The men that actually promoted cold approach, they kind of were busters. And then when you think about cold approach, I want you to think about this. In most settings, do you see people cold approaching? Now, bars and nightclubs, of course. But we're talking about day game, broad daylight, people going to the mall, tourist areas, restaurants, suburban neighborhoods, rural neighborhoods, downtown. Do you see people constantly, as they would suggest, grocery stores, go to grocery stores, go to these places. Do you see people walking up to people 24/7? Okay. Not really. Okay. It is not something that people do often. In fact, if you're in a grocery store and you approach more than 5 people, I guarantee you somebody's going to talk to you. Somebody's going to talk to you. Somebody's going to point you out to the manager. If you're in a damn grocery store, constantly approaching women, because when you're thinking about cold approaching, like people are going to see you approaching multiple people. Even in bars and nightclubs, people are going to see you. The women that you approach are going to see you approaching woman after woman after woman. You're not going to get away with it. Eventually, one of these women are going to be like, damn, he approaching everybody. So when you see people constantly say this, and this is the way you do it, other than colleges, 18 to 22, this is a good age, right? You're going to have to do it. Other than colleges and night scenes and bars and clubs, where do you see it? Where do you see it? Where do you see a guy constantly going from person to person to person? All right. And you're just sitting there and you're watching him just go through his 5 approaches, his 10, 15 approaches, and you're seeing it. Where do you see it? You don't see it. Right there. Yeah, maybe a gas station where you pull up, she pulls up, and then she hops out of the car. But he's not sitting there. That was his one approach. He approached that one girl, and then off they go. So this is something that people talk about people doing, but it's not very common. It's not very common, other than scenes, right? Party scenes, house parties, clubs, bars, right? This is where you're probably going to see it, and that's cool. All right, but go to regular places. This is not something that you see a person doing all day long. And the people that are now doing it, they're doing it because they have the glasses on, right? They have the glasses on, so their intent is to do it publicly. But you don't see it that much right here. Okay, now I'm going to talk about something that's happening in Thailand, because something big is happening in Thailand, and I'm just about to go there. A couple of good big laws that are changing in Thailand. One related to cold approach, specifically with the glasses, and then one related to traveling to Thailand. So you better know this, because I'm actually going into Thailand. I might face this issue, but I might not. But I'm going to talk about that later. Shout out to Jacob Rivera over here saying, yeah, man, he noticed that about the red pill content creators. They get off on the red pill rage, which I'm saying red pill rage bait is cool. It's funny. It keeps the conversation going, but it doesn't elevate the conversation. It doesn't elevate the man, where I'm trying to elevate the man and going, okay, let's take you. And I'm giving you principles. Free agent lifestyle as a principle, boss up as a principle, money mindset. I'm trying to always elevate the man. But what I'm finding is that the audience is like sand. All right. What happens is I'm elevating a few, and then the rest are just dropping out depending on rage bait. And I'm like, fine with me. All right. But I ain't going to sit here and do this, because it's not, for me, it doesn't make sense. It's not business worthy. It's not good business. Shout out to Jacob says, I'm 27, by the way. So I was part of the Gen Zers you were talking about. Yep, that came in, the Gen Z. Now you're 27. Now you see reality. So how long can you take red pill rage into your late 20s? Can't. It's detrimental. It's detrimental to you. When you're 25 or you're just getting out of a divorce and you're going through child support, beneficial. But at some particular point, you got to elevate past that and realize you're the prize. You have everything in your hands to be able to turn your life around. You can elevate your life in less than 3 years, right? Now, everybody's commonly telling you this. You deserve peace. You got fooled. You got duped. Okay, now let's pull you out of that. Most people don't want to do it. They want to stay right in there. I get it. Sam says, every time I interact with a woman, he says, the reason and time are pre-planned. He says, if the time and reasons are not pre-planned, she will waste your time. What's your thoughts on making sure women don't waste your time by pre-planning the reason and time when meeting women? For that is, I see this all the time. Okay. The pre-planning versus the planned. So a cold approach technique, bars, nightclub, is not planned. Now they plan on men hitting on them. They plan on their response. But what'll happen is you'll waste your time. You'll have a whole conversation with a woman. 5 minutes in, she'll tell you she has a boyfriend, but she was there talking to you. And she got some attention from you. She got a conversation. I thought he was just being nice. You know, they know when you're hitting. What'll happen is she'll just waste your time. Get the phone number, call her, you know, schedule, text, meet up, flake, reschedule. All right, I'm going to tell you, brothers, bro, it's not worth it. Don't waste your time. It sounds like it's going to lead to something. Most of the time it's leading to nothing. When you have it planned and organized, you will realize, okay, when they fall off and flake, you've wasted no time. Okay, meet me here. Let's discuss that there. All right, here and there, right here, right in front of me. Here it is. We're going to do this. And when they get in front of you, everything's going to be exactly how you want it. And then when it doesn't, you just go ahead and bail. But they are going to waste your time. Okay. The strategies of men shooting in the dark, you're going to realize you wasted your time. And most of the time, all they show you is the approach and the phone number exchange. What happens after that? They never show you that part. Have you ever noticed that? Guys, the pickup industry has been a fraud since the beginning. But, you know, people will still vouch for it. They'll get a little bit of success. And they'll come out here and act like they're winning. It's been proven a fraud for a long time. All right, because they'll just show you an example of, oh man, I bet you he smashed. Right? Well, did he really? Because if he did, we would know about it. But why don't we know about it? Anyway, did I speak on Thailand? I'm actually he says I'm late. I'm going to speak on it in a bit. I just talked about that. You're really late. But getting a number in the Instagram, trust me, guys, bro, if that was the barometer of success with women, all right, we all would be kings at this point. Oh man, but it's tough for men to do that because again, it seems like I'm taking money from their, I don't know, bread basket. I don't know. Shout out to Blue Bag and says, Coach, the niggies do indeed support you. Sincerely, the black delegation. Well, not all. Not all blacks don't support me. I get it. All right, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying here. I do get a lot of blacks from a lot of other content creators. Like for instance, when people were reviewing my debate with Andrew Wilson, that's where I can see what people really thought about me. Okay, because I'm ignored in this space for the most part because it's hard to really come to my stream and say what you want to say. Because you got to subscribe for 20 minutes, right? And then you're going to get smashed in the comment section as soon as you say something because Coach Gang is Coach Gang. And then they got to use their hidden profile. They can't use their real profile. So when I would go to other people's channel reviewing my debate, that's what I saw what they really thought of me. Okay. And there were people complaining. His solutions were in the book. He's just trying to sell a book. He's about the money. He's about, he don't have solutions other than what's in the book. Like I'm sitting there like, wow. And literally the other guy was pushing his wife's book, never got any criticism about that. He literally talked about how much money she made from the book and it was better than mine, but mine was more rated and higher rated. Okay. There was no problem about that white woman selling the book. But now when I was trying to sell a book and I was trying to tell people about the 52 Things book, which I didn't say was a free book. I didn't even literally get it out that it was a free book, but the book of suggestions that I had was in a free book. But people had a problem with that. Oh, he's just trying to point you to a book. Like, wow. It is a real sad thing. And those were mostly black men. Mostly the men that were saying these things were black men. So when I say the niggas don't support, it's not the people that watch me. It's the people that hate watch. It's the people that don't like what I'm doing. Or I'm not helping you out. It's those guys. The most of the audience in that lead attorney or it wasn't just the lead attorney's channel. I saw this on several channels. And O'Shea Duke Jackson had a video. There was a couple of other content creators. I can't even think off the top of my head that were black content creators that their audience were full of black people talking shit about me. I was like, wow. Yeah. Oh, MTR was another one. MTR, the Poor Man Podcast. Okay. These were all mostly black people talking cash shit about me. Okay. Okay. So when I say niggas, it's not the ninjas of the Coach Gang. It's the niggas that are opposed to me, literally just trashing me for the fact that what I'm doing. Like, what am I doing? What am I doing to hurt you? It's like, what? And then when I say, well, I got a book. Well, he's just trying to sell books. Like, what the fuck? I'm like, man, mind-boggling what comes out of it. And so when I say black people, all right, I'm talking about that's what it is. That's what it is. Somebody said, did I ever do a reaction of the whatever podcast? See, anytime I talk about Andrew Wilson, they keep saying, well, you can't get it out of your mind. I was like, he's the most popular subject matter in the internet space. But anytime I talk about him, they're like, it's been 2 weeks. CGA can't get over it. I'm like, it's like, so if I were to review Andrew Wilson getting smashed out by that Lily Lintlicker, they would have been like, see, CGA can't get it out of his mind. He coping because he lost. I'm like, oh my God. So I just let it go. I just let it go, man. Because people are really, you have to realize, people are losers. People are losers. You can't win. You can't win with these people. So I would have just re-brought the Andrew Wilson people back over there. See, he trying to talk about Andrew Wilson because he can't get over the fact that he lost. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, the whole internet talking about this. But if I talk about it, it's been 2 weeks since the debate. He can't get over it. All right. It is mind-boggling with how the internet works. But so I'm a professional with this internet thing. I've been on the internet for many years. All right, not just with this type of content. I've been doing internet for 20 years. Trust me, I know what to do and what not to do. All right, and everything that I do it intentionally, and I don't surprise you with it. When I started pivoting towards sugar daddy content and boss up content and money mindset, it wasn't immediate. All right, I kind of just led you to it. It wasn't like an immediate switch. I've been leading you to it. It's kind of like a soap opera, professional wrestling, movies, where you see it coming, you hear it come, you hear it, you see it coming, and you hear it, and you hear the footsteps, and you know it's going to arrive. And then it arrives, and you're like, oh wow. All right, that's how I led up to those transitions. All right, because if I would have just switched up and said we just gonna switch it up, and announced it, it wouldn't have worked. So you gotta lead into it, okay, to get people to go along with it, and then you gotta let people go, I ain't with it, and then let them drop off. So, that's what I have to do to be able to survive the internet. You got to survive the internet as a content creator, and you got to have thick skin and let people talk shit about you. That's what you're doing. That's the one thing. Money mindset, free talking point. If you want to get in here and go viral, be ready to get filleted on a regular basis. I'm a person that doesn't mind the internet talking about me. You could talk shit about me all day long. You don't realize, y'all thinking, oh, you don't realize it's a win-win for me. And most of the time I don't read comments anyway, because it's not therapeutic. It definitely is not good for your mental health to read your own comments, even though people support you overwhelmingly in the comments. There are some very, very hurtful, hateful people out here that say things about you. And also they have bots out here saying things about you to trigger you. And when you react to them, then, oh, you're reacting to poor old me. All right. Like there's some losers out here. There's some losers. So for me, know for a fact that the comment section is just your comment section. It's not mine. It's not my comment section. It's not me for to go in there and duke it out in the comment section. My job is to put out the content. That's my job. My job is just to give you the content, talk my shit, and let y'all have at it. But I ain't about to be in there duking it out with motherfuckers I don't see. Because there was a guy, a comedian. His name is I can't remember his name. He's from Indianapolis. He's a black guy, Michael something. I'm bad with names. He's in the Friday movies. You guys know him. You guys are gonna know his name. Anyway, he was on Shannon Sharp talking about it. What's the guy from Indianapolis? He bought up the neighborhood in the city. Shout out to him for doing that, buying up his neighborhood and making houses there. Michael Epps, that's his name. So Michael Epps was talking about he paid money to try to confront the troll, and according to him, he said the troll was a teenager. Right? Like he paid a private investigator to confront an internet troll, and the troll was a teenager. Some teenage kid somewhere in his bedroom, 13, 14, 50 years old. He was going to pull up on him and beat him up, and he paid a private investigator to find him, and it was some troll-ass teenager. What people have to realize is that internet trolls, they're losers. They ain't got nothing better to do. They hate. They hating from the club, outside the club. They're kids. They're bots. It is what it is. And most of the people that have time to write a paragraph in disagreement to straw man argument you after putting out 5-hour video, they want to find the one thing to write a paragraph about. I don't have time for this, man. All right. I don't have time. I don't have time for you to pick the one thing out of a 5-hour video to bitch about or where I was wrong so you can get your win on the internet for the day. This is why I'd be like, comment section is for the people. It's not for me. All right. My point is to put out the comment. My point is to put out the content. That's your comment section. Right? Y'all can say whatever the fuck you want. I ain't got time to go and read every comment and ban and block people. I'll do it every now and then, but I ain't got no time. All right. I just move on with my life and go out there and put hands on young women's hips, and I go travel and I go put oil in my car. Right. I ain't got no time for this shit. So never take these people seriously. That's a good piece of advice. Snap, tech, fix. Coach, on a Saturday, I thought I was tripping. Free agent lifestyle for life. We here. Shout out to one of my JUCOs texted me and said, I look great and well rested. Shout out to her. She knows who she is. Texas stand up. Okay. And my other JUCOs are like, who? All right, there it is right there. She said, I look great and well rested. I slept a lot yesterday. All right. And in my time, the timing is off. We're 19 hours ahead. My days or nights here, it's a disgrace. So I had to take yesterday off and really get some sleep and rest in. Eric Scott Sermon says, have a fantastic vacation. We're doing 6 weeks. All right. Paul says, my favorite African-American. Shout out to you. Shout out to Paul. Paul E. Dangerously. We're on a Saturday because I missed a lot of this week, man. It's a mess. All right. That jet lag will creep up on you. And of course, I got 6 weeks to do this, so I don't have time to be wearing myself out early in my vacation. All right. I even been going easy on the JUCOs, easy on the nights out. All right. I haven't really gone hard yet. Pause. And in my next trip, my next location is going to be chill as well. But after that, I'm about to destroy Linglings. All right. After that, Linglings are getting destroyed. All right. So it's T-minus a week. All right. When do I touch down in the land of the Sea Mexicans? When do I touch down in the land of the Sea Mexicans? All right. Because I've been seeing a lot of Linglings here and I was been like holding off. I've been like, I got time. I don't need to rush it. All right. I'm cool. I got abundance. He says, I bet you can go on vacation all year. You're going to see that next year. All right. They're going to be really hating. Let's see here. I touched down in the land of Lings in less than a week. All right. The land of Lings. So I got 2 more days here. I'm going to be in Indonesia, which are land of Lings, but it is a Muslim oriented country. You got to be careful over there. I'm only going to be there for less than 72 hours in Indonesia. I'm not going there to party. I'm going there to woosah. All right. I'm going there to woosah. I'm taking milligrams and milligrams of all kind of medicine. All right. So I can be ready. But when I touch down in the Philippines next Friday, I believe so, it's going to be on like Donkey Kong. Godzilla to the Sea Mexicans. All right. I'm going to be running around here. It's going to be Black Snake Moan when I get down to the sandbox of the sandbox. When I get down there to the land of the Lings in the Philippines with the brown fucking machines, all right, it's going to be a wrap. Godzilla is coming there. Black Snake Moan is coming to the Sea Mexicans. All right. And I'm warning you, Sea Mexicans, to get ready. All right. It's going to be crazy. All right. It's going to be crazy. So I'm taking it easy this week. I'm taking it easy. I'm resting up. All right. I'm hydrating. All right. I'm like, somebody said it's typhoon season. Yeah, it is. All right. I seen Thailand get flooded. Thailand got a lot of issues before I hit there. Oh, my Lord. I might have to skip Thailand. Thailand altogether is all bad right now. All right. I'll cover that when we get to that point. Don't let me forget. All right. But anyway, the Philippines going to get a whole new, they getting a problem. They catching a problem when I show up. Anyway, fuck you, boss up is coming up. All right. Fuck you, boss up. We going to have fun too. All right. I might not come back. All right. Anyway. What are we doing here? We got Fuck You Boss Up here. We only got one video on Fuck You Boss Up, do we? Yes, we do. We have one video, and it's allegedly a grandpa at 90 years old. Check this video out for the young men who wonder what happened to men. For the women that wonder what happened to men. Let's take a look at this video on Fuck You Boss Up. Play the video.
My back and I got a problem. Yeah. That's all right. That's all. Practice. Oh my goodness.
He's gonna do 10 watts.
No, he's gonna do what? 20.
Oh. Jeez. That's pretty good. Hey, go, Grandpa, go.
6.
Gampa.
6.
I think that's 7. This is 8.
7.
8. 9.
Hey,
wow.
Like Bobby.
The stomach was hanging on the ground this way.
Oh man.
If you do it for Denise.
Let's go.
There you go.
I remember I'm 90.
Yeah.
90 years old.
90.
Bag.
Oh man.
15.
He's getting in too.
16, I used to make 20.
Well, do 20.
Get them arms in a little bit. He tired. Too. No resting at the top.
Oh wow. Man.
Come on, Pop.
Yeah.
That's good. That's great though.
19. One more. One more.
Come on,
You got
Pop.
it. One more.
Yeah, I'm going to sit down.
Oh, you can't get down.
All right.
Get his knees down.
Wow.
All right. Okay. Damn. All right. The son over there. The grandson over there. All right. What does he got in Yahweh in on the shirt right there? The power of Yahweh. Shout out to Grandpa. See, here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. And we noticed this. Men are the new women. Women are the new men. The reality is a lot of men today aren't built like the men of the past. Okay. The men of the past were purely barbaric. There weren't a lot of these soft shoe ass hipsters and all of these men painting their fingernails and talking about, well, women need a voice too. Shout out to the ladies. All right. Men in the past, testosterone through the roof. All right. Conquerors. None of these men out here. Well, I would never cheat on my wife ass nigga. None of these men out here. I would never pay for no punani ass niggas. Like, bro, men of the past used to be like, here's $15 in the Vietnam, whatever. Okay. Men got it in. Men used to be built a certain way. Now they done took all the manhood out of you dudes out here to the point y'all can't even do 20 push-ups. I want you to think about this. It's not just the other things that manhood include. Take a man in his 20s, can't even bust out 20 push-ups consecutively. This might be some people watching me, but y'all worried about these women and y'all can't bang out 20 consecutive push-ups. Like, this is where we are. Because men were built differently. They have talked you out of being a man and masculine to the point where, like, I wouldn't do. And now women are out here busting out 20 push-ups. They all on HGH and testosterone. Women can bust out 20 push-ups. You go to the gym, the women out here walking around strutting more than the men are strutting and peacocking. All right, the men are walking on their tippy toes around the woman, scared to look at the woman. And the woman out here just walking around the free weights, picking up 30-pound dumbbells. All right, back, shoulders all ripped up. Okay, walking around half naked, y'all not trying to look. Like, we are literally living in different times. We're living in different times. And when you look at it, the men of the past were just built differently, right? They had different expectations. They had different expectations on what it meant to support a family. Y'all call it simping, and that was just what they did. The wives were different, of course, but men also, monogamy was different. They had a wife, but they also had their side pieces and women that they fucked in the war. It is what it was. But y'all out here with this book knowledge on how to be a man, all right, with no practicality, no survival instinct, nothing. No ability to travel, nothing. You have no money, no ability to support yourself. And you want these women to lower their bar and standards so much because you think that they should accept you being an average guy. The answer is no. Average guys are losers. Average guys don't get to procreate. Now, we do have women that end up with average guys. That's not who they want to be with. They end up with them, right? But that's not who they want to be with. So men just differently in the past, and men were different, and it wasn't all pretty. It wasn't all flowers and roses. But the comment section, even on that video, it talks about it. Okay. The average American can't do 20 push-ups. All right. The average American male is fat. And shout out to the son there, the grandpa. He out there ripped and leaned up too. Okay. And anytime a dude, one of these loser men, see a man with muscles, oh, what are you doing? Testosterone? What are you doing? Taking steroids? All right, but what are you doing? You're fat. Like, you're fat and a loser. I'd rather be on testosterone and steroids than being a fat loser. All right. There's no fatness never prospers. Fatness never prospers. Get your goofy ass in shape, you internet keyboard warrior. All right. Anyway. That's crazy. Somebody says, I know 25-year-olds wanting blue chews. Like, that's crazy. All right. If you're at 25 and you needing help for erectile dysfunction, you got a major problem. Now, if you just out here one after one, woman after woman, then you need some help. I understand that. Trust me, I understand that. All right. Because your dick can get busy. All right. Somebody's hitting me up. Boy. What is this shit right here? This is crazy. All right, so that's fuck you, boss up. We're not gonna stay on that very long. Testosterone low ass niggas. Go get your testosterone checked. All right, for real. Y'all gonna need some testosterone help in a minute. We got a couple of the supporters that I want to acknowledge. And who is this? It's over on the pay pizzle. It's David Tully Blanchard says, have fun in Australia, coach. You hitting Westpac ports. You are in the Navy now. Shout out to the coach gang. All right. The Westpac ports. All right. I know there's a port right out here. I don't know where the Westpac port is, but you know, I'm learning my way around Sydney, Australia. And I'll tell you whether you should come to Sydney. Whether you should come to Sydney. It is yeah. It's not a party city, that's for sure. If you're looking for a party here, don't come here. Shout out to our brother here. It is KP. That was yesterday. Shout out to KP, rereading The Evolution. Shout out to you. Sometimes you have to reread the book to get the whole feel in. Perth is on the Westpac. All right, Perth in the Navy. Shout out to people in Perth. Quickly, I'll talk about it. Australia has basically everything that is on the right side is habitable, right? That's basically what you could say. I believe Perth is on the West Coast, if I'm not mistaken. All right. I get it mixed up. So you have Sydney, which is on the bottom side of the eastern side of Australia, the bottom, all right, right down there on the map. Then you have Melbourne, which is somewhat on the middle top side of the right side of the map, or the East Coast. And then I believe you have Perth, which is on far west. And then, so most of the habitable places you're going to have are going to be on the eastern side of the land. And it is a sleepy town. Let me just tell you, Sydney, Australia is not a party town. I've been out Friday and I've been out Saturday. And their bars and nightclubs, it ain't it. All right. They got like speakeasies and basement shit, bars in the basement and bars on the rooftop. You got to know it. You're not even going to know it's there when you're walking downtown. And it's not a big nightclub party scene. Like I said, if I compare Sydney to Amsterdam, it's night and day. A lot of the stuff that happens out here is daytime. And a lot of the people out here, I would say, are kind of, I would say, boring per se, more conservative, leaning towards conservative. Okay, even when the women come out and dress, they're kind of conservatively dressed. Like they'll get a little bit, you know, risque with their clothing. All right, but they ain't out here like Miami whores. So it's completely different. And, you know, I think it's small enough for people to know each other. But it's not a big party scene. So if you're coming here for a party, it ain't here. Go somewhere else. And I hear maybe Melbourne would be better for that on Australia, but do not come here for a party. I've only seen a handful of black people, and only a handful of, like, there's no black people coming here, definitely traveling. I met a guy yesterday from Las Vegas, a black guy. And how I met him was I was walking down the street on Kings Avenue. Shout out to Kings Avenue. I'm walking down the street and a white guy comes up to me and he was like, hey, there's another one of you over there. That's how few black people there were. And I looked over there and there was a black dude standing on the corner smoking a cigarette. Right? So that's how few black people were here. And if they are black, they're probably going to be African, but I don't even see that many of those here. Apparently more in Australia, more in Melbourne. All right. But he literally stopped me. I'm walking down the street this way. The dude was on the corner. I'm not even at the corner yet. And he stopped me and shook my hand. He was like, hey, there's another one of you right there. And I looked over and it was a nigga with sunglasses at night and some gold chains and shit. So now somebody said that sounds like heaven to me. And it's heaven, dude. The streets are clean. Like there's no bullshit. I mean, there's no bullshit here. The streets are clean. Everybody's well behaved. Nobody's really trying to, push you out of the way. I don't see any racism where people are like, I don't want him here. People just either ignore you or keep it moving. There's a lot of Asians here. About every third person you see is Asian. The white people that are here, they're not like, good day, mate. They're not all of them, not in Sydney. Right? Not in Sydney. There's no good day, mate, niggas. And shout out to the black guy that I talked to. He said he moved from Las Vegas to Sydney He came here and followed a chick. He came here and followed a woman here, and he came there for her, and they don't date no more. But he was like, he said he gets it in around here. But that good day mate, that old, boomerang, but they ain't got no teeth, all that's not here. All right, you got to go way out past Canberra, Cambria, whatever it is. And I haven't found my long lost son. All right, you guys know I had a small relationship with a woman from Canberra, Australia, about 20 plus years ago, mainly about 22 years ago. We were in Hawaii. She was on vacation with her father, and we had a little affair, if you will. She was young. I believe she was about 18 at the time, and I was like 24. And I was visiting Hawaii. She's from Canberra, Australia. And I clapped them cheeks up for a couple of days. She would hang out with her father and then come hang out with daddy. And she was from Canberra, Australia. So apparently there's maybe possibly she said she might have had my baby. And well, she said she had a pregnancy scare. And this was during the AIM Hotmail days. She hit me up on Hotmail, and she said, yeah, I think I'm late on my period. And then when I tried to reconnect with her, she said she took care of it. So I don't know what that meant. So apparently there might be an Australian CGA around here, around about the age of 22, 23, 24 years old. And somewhere in Canberra, Australia. But anyway, if you want to go find them Crocodile Dundee ass niggies and all of them niggies with the funny hat, they're not in Sydney, Australia at all. All right. And I almost contacted her, hit her back on that old Hotmail. Hey, I'm in Canberra. I would have met my son. Like, oh, hell no, I don't want to know about this. All right, never mind. You owe me 24 years of child support. Oh, wait a minute. Damn. And now all of a sudden I'm on child support in Australia and can't leave. So maybe I'll hit her up after the fact. All right, anyway. But she was a young piece of calico back then. And she cold approached me. That was one of those things, because I'm one of these guys that be like, dude, more women approach me than I would ever approach women. Like, she literally picked me out. We were sitting on the beach, and I remember I was with my basketball team. I was coaching. We were at San Jose State at the time. And I remember I was on the beach, and I was there with my whole basketball team. And there was a young woman there. We're going to call her a woman. She just looking at me with them Australian googly eyes. She's just looking at me like, what's up? But she's like on her belly, they're tanning, white folks are tanning. And her father was sitting next to her. My whole team, everybody noticed her looking at me. They was like, damn, this girl like recklessly eyeballing you. And that makes, look, that's somebody's daughter. She was ready to go, prime, ready to go. And this is before mobile smartphones and all of that shit. Like, you had to do the whole hookup. Like, there was no text messaging or none of this shit. So she recklessly eyeballing me. Everybody's like, even the girls that I'm with, the basketball team was like, damn, she on you. So I go over there with her father sitting next to her. All right. That's how it was. So she picked me. I picked her. I cold approach her. She gave me the choosing signal. Her father sitting next to her. I was like, hey, what's up? No, nothing. She talking to Australia, whatever. I said, hey, all right, meet me here at such and such. This is when you have to meet them. Meet me here at this point of the hotel at this time and whatnot. Okay. We didn't have phones. We didn't have pencil and paper. Yeah, those are the pencil and paper days. But we didn't even have phones to exchange numbers. I think I had a mobile phone. She didn't. All right. But I was like, okay, meet me in the hotel lobby at this hour later on in the day. And then she was there when I met her. All right. Now, how many times have you done that and the woman not show up? Lots of times. But she was raring to go. I was like, cool. All right. Right up to the hotel room. All right. All right. Women on vacation. Never trust women on vacation, bro. So anyway, she was a badass blonde white girl too. Like a legit Australian. So much so, I'll tell this story again because it's funny. One of the guys, we call him a sports information director. If you're in college athletes, you know the guy. He basically is the liaison between the media and the basketball coaches and the team and the players. So they're the liaison. They're the mediator between them two. They report the scores. They call the newspaper. They keep the stats during the game. Our sports information director sees me with this girl. All right, but it's late at night. So we're walking late at night, and he could just see us like from a distance. His name was Brian. Brian sees me with this girl. All right, and he sees me, and he sees me like this. I think he wore glasses. He sees me, and he's like, damn. I could tell the look on his face. He's a white guy. And then as I'm approaching him with this girl, it's like a flat-backed young Australian chick. I said, what's up, Brian? And he sees me, and he was like, oh, wow. He was like, Coach. I've been called Coach forever, since I was 18 years old. So I've been Coach Greg Adams forever. So he sees me. He's like, oh, Coach. The next day, we get on the bus. And he was like, you know, I have to tell you, when I saw you with that girl, I was upset. Okay. When I saw you with that girl, I was upset. He was like, and the reason I reacted that way, he says, because I didn't know that was you. He said, I was upset because normally the black guys go after the ugly, fat white women. But I saw you with this hot blonde and I was mad. That's what he said to me on the bus. And I was like, so for years, you are not beating these allegations. He was like, I don't mind when you black guys go for the fat, ugly white women, but not the hot blonde ones. Yo, that's my Australian story right there, bro. I was crying, man. I was crying laughing. I was like, bro, we have never been beating these allegations since forever. And he said, I was hating. He was like, I was hating until I knew it was you. But said he was like, since I knew it was you, it was all right. But anyway, that was some funny shit. But it just goes to show you, man. You know, I've been hated on all my life for a variety of reasons. That this new variety of hate is nothing compared to the real life hate that I've existed and survived in. All right, but he said he was pissed that I was with this fine ass white woman. Anyway, but he said when the fat ugly one, black men usually go for the fat ugly ones. He's like, I don't mind that. You can have them. And I was like, damn, that is cold, evil ass world. Anyway, let's talk about, speaking of it's an evil world, let's do that segment. We got a couple of things to talk about. It's an evil world we live in. Candace Parker. You guys know who Candace Parker is. She is a former WNBA player, one of the best basketball players on the women's side to ever exist. I've seen her in high school. I started knowing about Candace Parker in high school because when she was in high school, I was recruiting at the time. I had no chance of getting Candace Parker at the school I was at. But Candace Parker, I actually talked to her father briefly during recruiting trips, but I had no chance of getting Candace Parker. Everybody knew she was going to be one of the top players that ever existed and lived. All right, Candace Parker right here, you see her. She's now married to a woman. Just like I tell you, any woman that you know that has ever played college sports, you better do a background check on them because they be out here with Lily Lint Lickers. They experiment. Now, she ended up initially marrying a guy, a basketball guy. I can't remember his name, but he played for the Orlando Magic. Okay. So Candace Parker is bisexual. She doesn't hide it. She actually was married to a male basketball player and ended up marrying a white woman in the end. But beautiful. She's a beautiful player. She was a beast on the court, and she played for Tennessee and Pat Head Summit back in the day, winning national championships and coming out winning. I think she won a couple of WNBA championships and all that. But I respect her in her game. She definitely deserved all the accolades that she got. Well, she recently got into a conversation with Bruce Pearl, who was, I believe, he was the Tennessee basketball coach. I think Bruce Pearl coaches at another school right now, but Bruce Pearl is a you-know-who-ish, which means he's great for college basketball. He's basically a used car salesman, all right, with no other talent but coaching basketball, all right? All right, but he's a used car salesman. And Candace Parker, when Bruce Pearl was the head coach at Tennessee, for the men's team. Candace Parker was the top player at Tennessee for the women's team. And Bruce Pearl just outed Candace Parker's dating history, okay, while he was at Tennessee. He now coaches Auburn. That's what I knew that was the case. All right. He was also a snitch, a cheater, and all that shit. All right. But he outs Candace Parker and says, she's not your girl. She's our girl. Listen to Bruce Pearl right here, outing Candace Parker.
This was a beautiful young student athlete at Tennessee. She was dating one of my guys, and she was talking to 2 or 3 others at the same time.
You can't air her dirty laundry like that, Coach. Come on now.
Hey, Candace, you remember there were a couple times I would come to you and say, honey, don't break up with him tonight, right? You remember this? I literally did. And she would be like, okay, we had that relationship. Candace was mature beyond her years.
I was in your office and talking to you, and I think that that's the thing that I love about the University of Tennessee is the relationships and, the stuff that will stay in 2004 to 2008.
Candace was
okay. So shout out to Bruce Pearl just put her business out in these streets. All right, and I keep telling you guys, she's not your girl, she's our girl. The Y is silent. Bruce Pearl said she was dating one of my guys and was dating a couple of other guys, and she was also in that women's locker room, Lily Lint-licking and getting Lily Lint-licked. Okay. Oh my goodness. Because she was getting Lily Lint-licked too. And trust me, I used to coach women's college basketball. They be on both sides. Okay. So Bruce Pearl says she was dating a couple of my guys. And I had to call her in the office on game day. Don't break up with my guy. Because people don't realize this. A lot of these top women's basketball players like her, Dawn Staley, Teresa Weatherspoon, and what's the other one? The greatest of all time, Cheryl Miller. All right. I know y'all think these other women are great. I think Cheryl Miller is the best of all time. That's just my opinion. It is what it is. These women were like alpha. They were top dogs. And I used to see this because I used to go to the coaching convention every year for the women's Final Four. And them women were like pimps. All right. They had it going on. Dawn Staley. All right. They can literally lick and strap on any woman at that conference. All right. Cheryl Miller. All right. They was walking around top dog alpha. All right. They were coming out there with a pantsuit on and they would stop the show. Teresa Witherspoon was another one. Okay. That they would stop the show. And Candace Parker, her too. All right. Her too. They was literally like probably got body counts in the thousands. All right. Doing whatever they wanted. All right. With the strap on and all that shit. Yeah. The stud shit. Okay. They could get what they want. So Candace Parker is kind of showing you that by her laughing, talking about, yeah, man, I had them dudes and them Lily Lint-lickers.
Beautiful young student athlete at Tennessee. She was dating one of my guys, and she was talking to 2 or 3 others at the same time.
Dating one of my guys and talking to 2 or 3 others at the same time. Put her whole business out there. But people have to realize, I've seen this as a college basketball coach too. All right. This is easy work. and they're the studs of the court. Believe it or not, they are the king of, what do they call it? The big man on campus, especially at that level. You're the big man on campus. Okay. So dating the whole men's basketball team. Damn. All right. And the women's team.
Her dirty laundry like that, Coach.
And she said it ain't true, but she laughing and sniggling. Okay. It ain't true, huh, Candace? Shout out to Candace. Yeah, she's a pretty light-skinned woman. I believe she's about 6'3", 6'4". Legit, play like a guard. That's, for those that don't know, that's post player height for most college basketball teams. You are back to the basket player at 6'3", 6'4". All right, she was a guard with all kind of guard skills. All right, and could play every position. All right, so she was ahead of her time. She would, this conversation about what's this one, the white girl name? The black Angel Reese and what's this, the white girl? I can't even remember her name. I'm bad with names. The white girl that's playing ball. All right, I don't think none of them girls are even close to some of the other women I mentioned. All right, Caitlin Clark. All right, Caitlin Clark's dynamic. Caitlin Clark's a dynamic, but I'm not taking anything away from her. She is dynamic. She's to me like a Steph Curry. Like Steph Curry is not the greatest of all time, but he changed the game. So you can't minimize Steph Curry's importance. He's not the greatest of all time. I wouldn't put him up there. I wouldn't even put him maybe in the top 10 greatest of all time. But in terms of did he change the game? Yes. Steph Curry changed the game and had a bigger impact on the game than almost any basketball player you can name. Okay, that's like George Mikan. All right, George Mikan changed the game. Wilt Chamberlain changed the game. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar changed the game. They changed the rules around Kareem. Then you got Steph Curry, changed the game. Caitlin Clark changed the game. All right, so in terms of impact, Caitlin Clark is up there. In terms of talent and skill, I can't put her up there. All right, I can't put her up there as the top women's basketball players. No. All right, no. Michael Jordan changed the game. So I would say LeBron James changed the game. I would say one of these players at the top ever. But, in terms of Caitlin Clark being the top, not against Cheryl Swoops, Teresa Witherspoon, Cheryl Miller, Candace Parker. Okay. These players are completely dominated the game. Dominated. Where Caitlin Clark is, definitely changed the game a lot. All right. Anyway, enough about Candace Parker. But as you can see, she's not your girl. She's our girl. The Y is silent. All right, we got this evil world we live in pressing on right here. Let me see how far we can go. All right, let's get into this part of the story. We'll save the rest for later. A woman calls out black men for acting like she's completely invisible during her trip abroad. All right, I believe she went to Thailand. All right, and we have a sister that is going to Thailand as well. Now, for the guys, shout out to the passport bros. Shout out to the free agents who travel. Shout out to all the men who have traveled in some of these areas that have been highlighted over the past 5 years. They're no longer gate kept. The niggas have invaded these areas. Not to the point of destroying it, because there's not that many black people over there when you go there, but certain areas have a lot more than others. Well, what happens is black women do travel to these destinations. I will clue you in. When you go to Colombia, when you go to Costa Rica, when you go to, the Philippines, Thailand, when you go to these areas that people talk about on the internet, black women will be there. They're not going to be there a lot, but you're going to see them. And sometimes they're American black women, but sometimes they're Caribbean black women. And what'll happen is there'll be an awkward moment. The awkward moment is, how do I address these black women? Because you're not there for the black women. You're not there to have conversation with them. You're not there to hang out, but you'd be like, hey, sis, sometimes they're kind of awkward towards you. Like when I was in Colombia, there was a group of black women that seen me have dinners with like several Latinas. Right? Every time they see me at the restaurant, every time they see me walking out of the hotel, they see me walking out with a different girl. Right? So they were like, damn. Right? They was like, this nigga getting in. And their energy is that they don't talk to you. So my experience is that when I see black women while traveling, they almost rarely talk to me. They almost don't even want to address me. They're almost kind of like, what I think they're doing is they're going on vacation, but I also think they're kind of spying on us. They're spying on us, but they're doing this gathering intel. So they're going to go back and see if you're with a woman, if she's really young, if you're talking to her and she barely knows English. All right. They're going to see what you're doing. Okay. What type of woman you're going to, if they're ugly, if they're good looking, they're kind of seeing what's happening. And I think what they're doing is they're spying. So they're there out of not only enjoying their vacation, they're out of curiosity. They hear a lot of men traveling that are they're guys. And they're like, let's go over there and see what they're doing. And I'm not saying that's the only reason they travel, but that's one of the things that they're going to do when they're traveling. So, I wouldn't want, well, anyway, that's all I'll say about that. And I'll just go ahead and present this video. This woman says right here that black men are ignoring her when they are traveling abroad. All right, so let's play the video.
Serious question. What is up with the black men in Thailand? Are y'all okay? And I'm not even speaking like on a romantic level, but just on a normal, cordial level. Y'all are weird. I seen a black man today just walking, and just like I give everybody else, I gave him a nod and like a little smile. When I tell you this man looked at me like he seen a ghost, and I couldn't do nothing but bust out laughing because what is wrong with you? I get a lot of y'all come over here to sow your wild oats, But that doesn't mean that you instead be rude to any Black American that you see. We are the minority in a foreign country. So yes, when I see another Black person, I'm expecting for there to be some type of mutual respect between us. Am I saying that we gotta hug and hold hands and go on a date? No. Serious question. What is up with the Black men in Thailand?
Okay, so let's break this down. This is an interesting thing. In the comments and the people who investigated her, they broken this down. So they went back to her Twitter, and she had a lot of disgraceful things to say about Black men, which didn't offend me, but it does offend a lot of Blacks that kind of want this dynamic between Black men and Black women to exist, where overwhelmingly it's pretty hard to have exist. But they went to her former Twitter or her Twitter, and they brought a lot of negative things she had to say about Black men while in America. All right, not overseas, but while in America. So she already was on some sort of issue with Black men already. Now, the next part about it is what makes her think that Black men are supposed to speak to her while they're overseas, when wasn't it not that long ago? Every day we show up on some sort of internet app where a woman's complaining about Black men being thirsty and talking to them in public. But now that we're over in Thailand, they're supposed to speak to you. We don't even barely speak to each other in public in the United States. Now, that's certainly in the Midwest, certainly on the West Coast. Okay, if I take California, Black men and Black women outside of Inglewood and Ladera Heights and Baldwin Hills, Black people don't speak to each other at all. Okay, when they see each other, they're like, "Don't talk to me. I don't want to be known. I want no type of nigga you are." But now you're in Thailand, and we're supposed to be like, "Oh, hey, sis, I'm here in Thailand because of you, sis," aka because of how you treat people in America and how Black men and women treat each other. That's why they're over in Thailand, to avoid you. The last thing I'm going to do is, if I'm in any country other than the United States, and mostly the United States, the last thing I'm going to do is talk to a Black woman, especially when I'm outside of the United States. I might be cordial and say hi if I feel like she's giving me some sort of feedback and being like, okay, I want to talk to you. But if she act like I'm gonna stop her in her braids over in Indonesia, and she out here doing this shit, if she act like I'm gonna be opening my mouth, hey sis, how you doing? That's the last thing I'm gonna do. All right, I'm not going to be out here trying to cater to you and trying to get your attention. Hi, sis. I just want to say, I want to acknowledge you. We out here being a minority. I ain't talking to that bitch. All right, cold approach and acknowledge a Black woman. All right, I barely do that in America. I barely do that in America. That's crazy, bro. There's no fucking way. So I don't know what she's on. That's why I think she's spying, because people have looked at her Twitter and talked about, and she was talking about a lot of negative things to say about Black people, Black men in particular. So it sounds like she's going over there to start trouble, which means in effect, the sad part about it is that, shout out to the Passport Bros, not talking about them, but because Black people are in a different economic strata and they're being, we have the internet, Black people are realizing a world exists that they never had available to them in the last 40 years. Case in point, the people that are deciding to do this, they're facing backlash for doing it. Why are you going all over there? You can't get nobody here. Why y'all going over there? You can't even take care of your kids here. You're going over there to take advantage of those poor women, right? So because men are being exposed to this is, white men and the men in the military of any race, they've already knew about these places. Now, because people have phones and videos and they have YouTube channels, now more people have been exposed to these areas, and there's no longer any gatekeeping. So now you have niggas leaving Indianapolis to start problems in Thailand when there were no problems to begin with. We didn't have these problems 10 years ago. But now this woman's going all the way from Indianapolis to go to Thailand to cause problems between Black men and Black women. Like, when I tell you niggas be geeking, there's a video I wanted to play about that. I think I played it before. Niggas are their own problems. It is true. Like, niggas are a problem. I'm sorry to say. And I'm here, and I don't see many niggas, and the streets are clean. There's no graffiti. Very few homeless people. People ain't on drugs. They ain't out here going crazy. Nobody out here getting assaulted. Everything's fine. But as soon as the Black people start going over here and there, the problems start existing. Even the countries know that this is a problem. I'm sorry to say this, and I'm sorry to keep reporting this. Black people are a problem. They go from one area to the next and cause problems. Without them being there, people seem to have everything going on. People don't care what goes on. People been letting it go on. The damn mayor, the senator, the governors, the damn country king be letting the shit go on. People want to know, Coach, what are you talking about? Well, that's the first part of the problem. Let's talk about the second part of the problem. We have a Pookie. We have another niggy. Watch this. A niggy. Look at this niggy right here. He says right here, this is POV, his first day in the red light district in Thailand. Okay. So here he is. This is obviously a Pookie. He probably don't have no money. He went over there. There's a lot of men, black men, they're traveling without any money or jobs. All right. It's crazy. And he says right here, his first night in the red light district. Okay, and this is his synopsis. Let's take you to it right here.
Not trying to buy pussy. It really ain't no reason to be over it. The Thailand shit is exactly what it looked like, bro. I came out here thinking it was gonna be some lit shit. It's just a bunch of hoes selling pussy, bro. If you come to Thailand, find you something else to do. You ain't got. I came out here so you don't have to. That's just my take. This shit boring, man. We do this shit in Atlanta. It's hoes in Atlanta. It's strip clubs in Atlanta. This shit, I don't know. This shit been fun, but I'm probably gonna stay out the red light districts, man. That shit, some sucker shit.
All right, some sucker shit, some square shit. All right, now, you think this is a joke? I thought this was a joke when I first saw this. I'm like, this in no way can be serious. But he dead serious. In the comment section, he's saying pussy should be free everywhere. Now, let me just say this. Again, you guys always say I'm advocating for paying. And all I'm advocating is that men pay in a variety of ways. Just realize that. There's not really many free incidences. All right. There's some form of payment. Money, energy, attention, and time. Again, niggies pretty much are like the only people still advocating for this free pussy thing. And they are kind of the worst examples of the type of men that you would want out here having sex. He is in Thailand. Let's start right there. Everybody knows what goes on in Thailand. There's no secret. Even people still with the gotcha moment. Aha, these guys really out here tricking. Well, listen, that's should be known. Like, that's not a gotcha moment. That's kind of what's happening here. Everybody knew that. You didn't discover anything. People kind of knew that's how things went on. Number one. Number two. He then says, I'm in the red light district of Thailand. Now, again, a gotcha moment. Everybody knows the red light district anywhere is where pussy is being sold. Like, what? Okay, so there's places in Thailand you could go and not buy any vagina. We know this. There's places where it doesn't go on. There's regular people not doing it. There's places where they are doing it. And then there's red light district where they're certainly doing it. So this is how this dumb nigga is processing it. I'm never coming here again. The red light district in any city in the world is selling vagina. Right? Amsterdam. It doesn't matter where you're at. If you're in the red light district, for the people who didn't know, for the people who didn't know, if you're in anywhere, if they tell you to go anywhere red, there are either gangs there or drugs there or women selling pussy or all three. Okay. If in Costa Rica, they call it Zona Rojo. You're taking a risk going down there. You can either get killed or laid or high. Okay. One of the three or all of the three. In one fell swoop in one moment, you could get high, get laid, and die. In the red light district, you could probably get laid and high. You probably won't die immediately. Okay. All right, I did hit up King Street. Shout out to you. You're late. I talked about it already. But this is how sad niggas are, that they're still out here thinking, and this is the guy that tells you he gets it for free. Like, take a look. Like, what quality woman is laying down for him for free, really? Okay. I mean, really. But he's out here in the comment section. I'm going to pull up the comment. He said, it should always be free. And he said he came here thinking it was going to be lit. You thought Thailand was going to be lit where all kind of women giving you free punani? Like, this is, man, I tell you, niggas are their own worst nightmare. Niggas are their own worst nightmare. Like, I swear to God, it's hard talking to niggas. They be so hard-headed and they think they know shit and they know absolutely nothing. Bro, just say you broke. If you broke, just say that. But I'm going to just let you know, for the people in the comment section, do not go to Thailand thinking you're going to score free punani. All right. By the time you get one piece of freebies, it's going to be from definitely a dirty foot woman. And then secondly, by the time you get a free piece of punani, there's going to be a guy that has 6 or 10 women by that point. 6 to 10 women for all under $250. All right. Certainly in Thailand, you can get it done for, depending on less than $100. All right, but by the time he done ran through 6 women, he ain't even spent $500 total. And he got it immediately. He got it immediately. And he got a woman that's been banged by all the other previous passport bros before him. So it's not a new piece of punani, although there are a lot of young bar girls that cycle in and out. They're there for 6 weeks, they're out of it. They're there for 6 weeks, they find a husband. They're there for 6 weeks, they go back to the province. All right. Some of these bar girls ain't there for 5 years. Some of them are. Some of them aren't. So sometimes you might get a new bar girl. She fresh in town out the province. She'd been bought by bought by the bar guy, and her family sold her off. And she's there on week 1. She just happens to be there. She done been through 10 guys, not 100. All right. All right. But he said, I should have just stayed in Atlanta. We got hoes there, bro. The hoes in it. You're going to take Atlanta hoes over Thailand hoes? Is crazy to me.
Trying to buy pussy, it really ain't no reason to be over here. The Thailand shit is exactly what it looked like, man. I came out here thinking it was going to be some lit shit. It's just a bunch of hoes selling pussy, bro.
It's just a bunch of hoes selling pussy. Bro, I'm just letting you know. If you come to Las Vegas, it's going to be the same thing, okay? When you get to Las Vegas, unless you're trying to run around and chase around the tourists from Louisville, Kentucky, I get that. Not me. I was out there banging some of the tourists. Okay, the tourists from Louisville. All right, but now bang the tourists over in the high-end lounges, over in the Wynn or Encore. All right, hanging out there. Try to bang on her. You're not going to get it. All right, that's trust me. They're selling it for $1,000 a pop. And they're there for the weekend, and they're there about 15 weekends a year. All right, making their rent money. Okay. So if you're going any of these destinations that you see people talk about, the underlying conversation that has to be said, because niggas are hard-headed, is that if you're there for anywhere less than 2 weeks, less than a month, less than a week, 2 weeks, you're buying punani. Or you're gonna bang 2 women tops the whole trip. I know it doesn't need to be said. It shouldn't need to be said, but it needs to be said, obviously. Now, a couple of things that are happening in Thailand. Number one, they're experiencing floods on the, I think, southeastern side of Thailand. Some of the impoverished areas, I believe one is called Hat. I can't remember the name of it, but they have been hit with some massive floods. So it is being flooded out there. It's a national emergency for Thailand, and it's going to, mess up a couple of flights here and there. So that's the number one thing going on in Thailand. That's the number one thing. And that just happened here the past couple of days. Not Pattaya, but it's called Hat something. Let me look it up. Let me give you the name. All right. Let me see. Hats. All right. Hat Yai. Hat Yai. All right. I'll type it in there. It's not a tourist area. It's not a tourist area. So the name of the city or area is, damn, I had it right here. Yai. All right, it's not a tourist area. So they've experienced massive flooding. It's caused $1 billion of issues in their infrastructure. And that's the number one thing. So that's going to cause a massive issue for a lot of people. And a lot of those young women and girls are definitely going to have to find a way to make some money, which means they're going to probably flood areas like Bangkok, Pattaya, and Phuket. So that's going to be a natural thing that you're going to see over the next 6 months. Those women are going to find a way to survive. They're going to have to be moved out and around. That's number one issue going on. Number two issue going on is a visa issue going on where Thailand has just changed the law in the last couple of weeks, where extending your visa from 60 days and getting an additional extension is going to be difficult for a lot of people if they don't buy and pay for the right way to do the visa. Those that don't know, when you go into any country, all right, you're getting a visitor's visa in which some countries grant you 60 days. Some countries like Costa Rica will grant you 90 days. You're basically on a visitor's visa to the point that when you arrive, you must have a return ticket. Okay. So when you get to border, when you get to the person processing customs, when you get to customs, they're going to want to know when you're leaving, and they may require evidence that you're leaving. Okay. So where's your return ticket? Now, if you go to Thailand or anywhere and you don't have a return ticket, you can be held and deported. Okay, so some people are going to these countries, they don't have a return flight. They want to know when you're leaving. Okay, how long you're going to stay here. So having a return flight, this is all common knowledge, which you should have known going in, but a lot of people don't know. But you can't just leave and then go to another country and say, I don't know when I'm leaving. Okay, they're going to say, well, you got 60 days, and I want to see an airline ticket of you going back to where you originally came from with that date, knowing like it's got to be within that 60 days. So that's common in any country you're going to. You're going to get shut down at customs. So you better know that. Now, what people have been doing, expatriates, is that what they'll do to beat this is number one, they'll just have a return flight and they'll change the ticket. Okay, knowing that they're going to stay. Number two, they'll apply for some sort of retirement, being that they're over 50 and they qualify financially for a retirement visa. Some people get an educational visa, all right, where you can stay longer. Some people used to do border runs where they'll go in, have the return flight, and then when the 60 or 90 days come up, they'll just leave and they'll go to Vietnam, for in this case, or go to the Philippines, and then they'll come back. All right, and they'll restart the visa. Some people go down there to reapply for the visa over and over again. So there are some people that know how to beat this system. What's happening is Thailand just 2 weeks ago just changed the way they're doing it. So it's going to make it difficult for you to even reapply for the visa. So that they might lock you up at the airport, even doing a border run. Okay, so even driving, it might be difficult for you to cross back. So Thailand has just initiated this over the last couple of days, and Americans coming in have been detained and deported back. Okay, so that just changed while I was flying over here, knowing I'm going into Thailand. Now, let me just clear this up. If you are first time visiting, you get 60 days. So I shouldn't have an issue because I have a return ticket. I have 60 days. I'm good. But if you've already been there 60 days, let's say you went in February and you did your 60 days and you went back home and you flew back in November with no return ticket, you can get deported and sent back. All right. And you don't want to get detained and deported. You don't want to get deported because if you came on first class and you get deported, you ride and coach. Right. You ride and coach, and you do have to go back the way you came. So if you came in through several different areas, you got to go back, and they will hold your passport. The airline will hold your passport until you get back to your origin city. So a lot of people I've been noticing have been saying, and you got to do your research before you travel. That's why I got this information. I was doing my research and I was like, oh shit, You got to have a return flight. And a lot of these people who are expats, a lot of these people who have moved to Thailand are considering having to move to Vietnam. So they're now like, oh, we need to pick up and move to Vietnam. Somebody says you'll get a 10-year ban too. You get banned for 10 years, so you ain't coming back. So this has been something that I think, and again, people are going to blame passport bros and they're going to play. There's always, again, I said this earlier, people thought it was criticism about the passport bros, but it wasn't. I said there's always going to be an adjustment period. People are going to let shit go on and then they're going to adjust. Is this because of the passport bros? No, but you can't say it wasn't a consideration. It wasn't a consideration. But now they're like, people are picking up. I've seen a couple of content creators. Oh, I got to get out of Thailand. I got to go to Vietnam. Vietnam much better, is cheaper. They don't have the same rules. But somebody says expat backpackers. There are a lot of people coming to these countries and they don't have a job or money. So they're basically ending up homeless or no ability to support themselves, which is going to be a strain on the system economically. And this is any country. I mean, where was I just recently? Australia. They have this issue with people coming to Australia because the borders are open. So this is just not happening here in Thailand. And it's not a passport bro issue. It is an issue with all the countries. Even in America, we have this. Even Donald Trump has this issue. We have the same issue in America. So, people are just coming here. They're coming here with Joe Biden administration said just come with no plan to leave. Now you just realize this past week, even Donald Trump shut down the Haitians and is rounding them up and deporting the Haitians, saying you no longer have a visa here. Okay, you no longer can just stay. And there have been Haitians here that said, we've been here for 10, 20 years and set up shop. And Donald Trump's like, deport they ass. Colombia's having issues with America. Okay, so it is definitely a situation that is a worldwide thing. But know that about Thailand, that if you plan on staying more than 60 days, the strategies and tactics of prior to November no longer work, where you can just go to Vietnam for a week and come back. That's no longer going to work. You're going to have a return ticket and a plan to be able to do it the legal way, which is pay for your passport extension, right, to do it. Anyway, is it the Somalians? It wasn't the Haitians. It was the Somalians. Thank you for correcting me in the chat. But it was the Somalians, I believe, that Donald Trump just recently said, yeah, you're no longer going to be able to just, be here. And I got that news when I was on my way here. All right. But shout out to y'all there know about that. And the third thing happening in Thailand, and a lot of other countries are going to pick up, the Meta glasses. Recording in public is illegal. Especially they're cracking down on the Meta glasses. So for people who are coming here to make content, there was 2 guys arrested recently in the last week or so for recording content on the red light districts and the beaches and the soys, recording content and posting it without the consent of the girls. Okay. So a Russian guy just got arrested. He was recording girls on the Meta glasses, and then he would post the content without the consent of the person. And the page was basically, he was saying, is this a lady boy or not? And you can vote. And one of the people, there's been several content creators where the people have gone against the content creator and said, I did not consent to this being posted. And they wanted to pull it down. Well, Thailand now has a no recording in public law, which everybody knows red light districts don't allow recording at all. But this is for the content creators now who think they're going to come over here and make a career making content. Well, they're cracking down on Meta glasses. You can get arrested for Meta glasses, recording on the soys or recording on the beach walkers or recording down in any of these kind of cell sex areas. So they're cracking down on that too, where you can get thrown in jail. Now, there was a passport pookie who went crazy for doing this, and some people tried to stop him from doing it. And he was saying, it's a free country. I can record in public. Well, here's the deal. In America, you can record in public. In Thailand, you cannot record in public. they will arrest you. Sometimes they will beat you down. Some of these women will beat you down. All right, for it. Now, people are saying, is that because of the passport bros? Well, listen again, or the passport pookies, or the people making content, because people are coming over here going, okay, I'm going to survive by making content. Well, now they're going, nah, not even the meta glasses. They're not even the meta glasses. There was a guy who just got reported, and he got arrested, a Russian guy. He got arrested, and apparently he's still in jail because he was recording on meta glasses. Okay, so you do have to have your research done before you come to these countries. It was an issue for me because I was planning on going to making some content and recording. And obviously these women don't want to be recorded at all. They're doing something where they don't want to be recorded doing. But a lot of people have been over the past few years making a lot of this type of content. So, they definitely now are looking at just not you recording with your phone or with your DJI Omni. They're now looking at meta glasses. All right, that meta glasses, they're cracking down on that. So, I know a lot of people think, how do they know it's meta glasses? Well, you do have there is a light, an LED light on the glasses that alert people that you are recording. I actually recorded some content while I was out here in Australia with my meta glasses. All right, I haven't posted it, but again, I'm doing my research. And yeah, I've seen a couple of lady boys roughing up some men with the glasses and recording, like getting into an actual fight. Now, I don't know if that's a common thing, but I have seen the lady boys taking exception and going to opening a can of whoop ass on this. All right, so somebody said the coach is coaching. Yes. So this is stuff, again, what I said years ago, and they're like, oh, he was hating on passport bros. I said, no, eventually they're going to adjust. They're going to adjust on the finances. It was cheaper. It was cheaper 3 or 5 years ago. Now it's a little bit more expensive. Now you also have the top-notch women saying, now you paying full American prices. Like a lot of these women over here that are top-notch Instagram personalities, they're like, I know what men are paying in America. I showed you an article. They're like, you're going to pay me the American price or close to it. You're not just going to cheap out and give me $15. You're going to give me $250, $300, $400, $400, $500. And also, 5 or 10 years ago, these women didn't have Instagram. Now they got Instagram and OnlyFans. Okay, so they don't have to be down on soy six. They don't have to be bar girls. They got a phone. And even the lower level women, there's some women over in the Philippines in the rural areas talking about, hi, this is our page. Follow us and send donations. Okay, so they're like, we could just get these niggas off the donations off of Instagram. We don't have to be out here in Angela City throwing around $20 punani. Okay, so there's always going to be an adjustment to everything. And we're seeing this in real time, which is going to, we showing this passport Pookie in real time, all right, learning the world. And he's shocked and dismayed. And that was my criticism back in 2022 as that movement became popular and I talked about it. And it was like, he just talking shit. I mean, I'm not. I'm literally going to tell you what is. And I've lived a lot of years. There's always going to be an adjustment. Colombia, there's an adjustment period that you're going to have there where it was novel. Now it's not as novel anymore for you to be down there. You're just another guy. You're just another guy. Can you still have fun in any of these places? Absolutely. You're going to have enough fun. But trust me, any woman that you're dealing with, as long as you don't care that they've been ran through by 100 other black men before you. Yeah. 100 other. And I also said Thailand was over at this point, meaning that the old Thailand is gone. What point was that if you listen to me? Yeah, the Dominican Republic, same thing. I was there in 2019, 2018. They cleaned up Sasua. They cleaned it up, right? Does shit still go on? Yes, it goes on everywhere. But they cleaned up Sasua. It's not the old Sasua. The one thing I said is when they brought into Pattaya, Rolling Loud, I said it's over. I said the old Thailand is over. Yep, that concert. Yep, you remember. I said when I saw they had Rolling Loud in Pattaya or Pattaya, however you pronounce it. When Rolling Loud came through, I was like, that is the line of demarcation from the old Thailand to the new Thailand. That's the line of demarcation. All right, that's it. Somebody said F1 coming. Shout out to Leo K. F1 coming to Bangkok. You just seen the leap from there to there, right? Just that. All right, that's over. All right, because that roster of entertainers that was in Pattaya, trust me, done ran through your lane. All right, done ran through your lane. Chris Brown and Lil Uzi Vert then ran through your lane. Okay, by the time you pick up a link over there, unless she fresh off the province and into the bars, they then ran through your lane, all right, and left all kind of whew. So if F1 is going to Bangkok, they now have risen, they've upped the price on everything. They have priced you out. Remember this, type this in the chat. Price you out. You're going to be priced out. There's nothing you can do about it. The price of everything about to go up. The old cheap days where you can go to Vegas, gone. All right. Same thing is going to be in Bangkok. Soon as F1 come in there, because I just seen what it did to Vegas. Gone. Travis Scott done ran through your lane. All right. All right. Priced out. Even now in Pattaya, you got to get the 60+ day visa. Priced out. It's not that hard to figure out where the world is going because the prices always go up. They never go down. All right. Anyway, enough about that. Let me catch up on some super chats. We'll do the main event. Shout out to that passport Pookie. Oh, we do have. Nah, I'm going to use that for the main event. Okay. Now, Vegas is trying to backpedal. All right, but it's too late. Vegas trying to backpedal. It's too late. I heard MGM Casinos trying to backpedal. Or maybe we fucked up. Too late. Too late. You can't go back. All right. You can't lower the prices. The problem is you can't lower the prices because you have entertainment. You have people that need to get paid. People still need to get paid. All right. Just know this. Like, just say like, when you at the JUCO and you have a roster of JUCOs, you can't lower the prices on your girls because it's getting tough. I lost my job, ladies. You think I can lower the price? They're like, hell no, I'm out. They're going to go to another guy. All right. We learned this when SMU football got put on the death penalty and they were breaking rules for paying players, which all schools were doing. But they focused on SMU because they were a small school that became a giant overnight, just like University of Miami. So what happened was SMU, they kept dinging them because they kept paying the players. And they went to the NCAA and was like, I don't know if you understand. We can't stop paying these players. We have a payroll. We have a payroll, meaning that these players were promised houses and cars and money, and their whole families dependent on these. We promised them as freshmen. These kids are juniors. We can't stop paying them. We have a problem. We have a payroll. So every time they paid a player, NCAA kept coming in here. Hey, you keep paying these players. They're like, we can't stop. We promised them the money. We got a payroll. Same thing as at the JUCO. The JUCO ain't taking no discount because you can't afford it no more. They just going to go to the next guy. Okay, can't afford the price. We got payroll. Same thing in Las Vegas. We got entertainers. We got all these hospitality workers that are striking every month and week. We have all of these things and all of this nice shit that you see. We got a payroll. We got to still pay for this shit. We can't just lower the prices. All right, 100%, man. You got to know what you're getting into. So they're going to have trouble lowering the price on the people because you still ain't going to cover the bills. You got a payroll. All right. So anyway, bankruptcy is next. This is going to go bankrupt. And that's the last thing they want to do. Anyway, it's business is business, man. YouTube trash talker. Coach, a buddy of mine damn near cried on my shoulder because his ex-wife just hit him up for modification of child support for 4 legacies, and he's $11,000 in arrears. I told him about your book. It's probably too late, though. It's not too late. He's already in trouble. 4 kids. He must have got a raise. She's been priced out. She took him to child support modification, $11K in arrears. I'd actually have my ex take me for a modification, and you immediately go in arrears on the child support system, which means in effect your passport, driver's license, any work license that you get issued by a state will probably be up for grabs on this immediate arrear payment. And then they will go through what they call to try to get interceptions. They will try to intercept any of this money from savings accounts, investment accounts, tax returns, in any of these type of things. They will immediately go in to try to intercept these funds. Even if you agree for a repayment schedule, they will still try to steal the money from you. So yeah, it gets all bad. It's all bad. You got to understand that. You want to have a legacy out here, well, go for it, but this is your risk. Shout out to our brother Leo K. He says Thailand is bossing up. He says they're done catering to broke expats. They want quality tourists now. F1 hits Bangkok in 2028. You can still have your fun, but you better boss up. Just know that that's going to be the effect. And women are always connected to the economy. They call it the stripper index. When strip clubs are slow, they know a recession is around the corner. All right. When strip clubs are full, they know that men have money. There's plenty of money in the economy. Thus, when good things come along, all right, the women are going to have a positive or negative effect that are in that industry. That also goes for marriage and divorce. During the housing crash of 2008, the divorce rates skyrocketed. So women and money, right, make the world go round. So when the housing recession of 2008 happened, the divorce rate went through the roof, especially in places like Orange County, California, where real estate is top dog. And divorce lawyers are top dogs. Soon as the money stopped flowing, the hoes stopped going. It's all connected. All men pay. So watch out for that. Thailand is just going to go to another level of bossing up. They're bringing in better quality events and things. Rolling Loud, now F1. Okay, the good old days are gone. The broke expat strategy, gone. Like the 55s and ups are going to be affected most. Like men that are 55 and up, they're looking to go get a 20-year-old girl from Thailand and make that woman the wife. Nah, that's a wrap. Right. And then, you know, he could cheapskate his way and live off of his pension, and he can live off $2,000 a month. That's gone. That's gone. In 2 to 3 years, that's not going to be a reality. The old white expat, nah, you cooked. All right, that's over. All right, now you're going to have to be 25, 35 and up to go out there, and you know, you still be able to get some punani, though. I'm going to just let you know. That's still going to be there. Yeah, the upgrade of the infrastructure. But you got to realize the areas of Thailand that they bossing up that area. All right, the rest of the areas are up shit's creek. It is what it is. He says, Rolling Loud brought stoner trash to Thailand. Exactly. And that's who you fucking after. All right, what are you talking about? That's who you fucking after. Because they went and got some pussy there too. Don't trust me. And the celebrities in Rolling Loud. Yes. What we're talking about, dudes be arguing about nothing. Yes. They would have otherwise not gone to Thailand. They would have went to Rolling Loud in Miami and Los Angeles. But as soon as they heard it was in Thailand, they took their ass over there too. And guess what? They bought some $20 punani. They bought some $25 and $70 punani. They did. And let me pull this up because dudes like to argue about nothing. Let me see here. And you know who else they bought? All them rapper niggas that buy pussy like crazy. Okay. And you know they was buying lings. Thailand 2025. Let me show you who let me tell you the rappers that came through on Rolling Loud. All right, here we go right here. Oh, it's India. They canceled 2025. I'm not sure why. All right, so Lil Wayne, here's the roster. This who y'all following up. All right, this who y'all need. All right, here we go right here. This is who was in Thailand. Lil Wayne, Wiz Khalifa, French Montana, okay, NLE Choppa, Rich the Kid. Okay, I'm naming people that I know. Okay, these names at the bottom, I mean, all these niggas bought a lot of pussy down there. Gunna, we got Gunna, Ken Carson, okay, the Slump God, Ski Mask, the Slump God. All these niggas ran through your lane. I'm just letting you know, bruh. DJ Snake, Black Snake Moan. Look at all of these niggas that was in Thailand. Pattaya, of all places, I believe. Not Bangkok. Was it Bangkok? It was anyway, DJ Scheme, DJ Who Kid. Somebody said Chris Brown was there this year. Yeah, bro. That's who over there ran through your lane. Talking about stoner trash. And the attendants ran through your lanes. Anybody attending? Who you think went to this concert? So this is who I'm following up when I'm going through there on my Lean Tour 2025. Lil Wayne. All right, this is crazy. This is crazy. All right, look, dudes be out here talking about some, look, rich white dude. Yeah, rich white kids. And what do you think they did when they touched down there? Right? They ran through some lanes. 100%. Them lanes didn't even know who these niggas was. They was like, boy, oh boy. All right, what's going on? Who are all these people here? Let me see here. Oh, man. So I'm following up all of this. This is crazy. All right, this is going to be a disaster. What do you think? Them guys and the people attending didn't go through no lanes? Yeah. And those guys them rappers do nothing but trick. This was cheap tricking for them. Shout out to Cheap Trick. All right, let me see here. What are we doing? Shout out to Leo K. Thailand, Boston up. There were women coming in from all over the province to get ran through by all of that roster. Somebody said Chris Brown was in Thailand. Oh, no. Because you know how Chris Brown moved where he's in the United States. He got 50 women following him. Imagine what the leans were doing down there. It would be damn pathetic. As soon as I get in, they're going to be like, them hoes ain't loyal. Let me see Chris Brown in Thailand. Chris Brown, Thailand. And he probably was going raw. There's a lot of herpes down there. All right, so we do have Chris Brown in Thailand. I want to see some pictures. They probably don't got no pictures, man. All right, yep, he's down in there doing Muay Thai. You already know it's a wrap. He down there in the Muay Thai gyms. They crowning him king. Oh, it's a wrap. It's a rapidy rap. Breezy Bowl. They crowning him king in Thailand. Oh, not at the Muay Thai boxing gym. Oh, damn, he ripped too. Oh, my Lord. It's over. Is that Chris Brown? It don't look like Chris Brown. That's another Chris. All right, let me see here. There's the Breezy Bowl down there. Oh, that was 2023 Rolling Loud. Yep, it's a wrap. They're the Lings in the back. I was like, is that Chris Brown all ripped like that? All right, anyway. So you know what Chris Brown done. Oh, Travis Scott was down there too. Oh, yeah, bye-bye, y'all. Travis Scott and Chris Brown, 2023 Rolling Loud. Pattaya City. There you go. There you go. And by that point, Punani was like $60 in Pattaya. Okay. In 2023, it was like $25. All right. The prices though went up. All right. And here y'all go. Y'all saving y'all a little money up. All right. In 5 years, I'm going to be down there. It's going to be CGA. They're going to be like, man, this guy named CGA came down here 1 year and set it off. Now the price way up here after CGA done left town. Because I'm going to just have them in the room just touching on my legs. All right. I ain't even just going to be, nah, baby, I don't got nothing left. And the Black Snake Moan is all done. All right. Just rub on my leg. All right. I'm going to have 10 Thai women in my suite. Just in bikinis, just swim. All right, just go in the jacuzzi. Y'all gonna be mad at me. This nigga CGA done set the whole price scale off. And don't be mad. He came in there and fucked the game up. Yes, I did. I done came and ruined the game for everybody. They gonna remember me coming through. Anyway, look. I think we got everybody on the updated support. Oh. Yes, indeed. They gonna remember me. Main event coming up. Main event coming up. I'm gonna do the same thing around the world. Them passport niggas gonna be upset with me. All right, he done messed it up the game. He done messed up the game. Angry little dude says, "Sensei, your knowledge is unmatched. We need you. Free agent lifestyle for life." Trying to tell these men. Let's do the main event. I don't have an intro to it, but we do have the main event. Check this out. We have a woman that says right here again. She's married, American woman, but she fell in love with another man. Gentlemen, this is called the bait and switch. Before we talk about that, we have a video of a woman saying right here, she wants to be feral. Okay, it's an evil world we live in, but this goes along with the main event. Listen to this real quick.
Is this a safe place? Probably not, but I need to get this off my chest. The way that I've been having sex lately, it's been real cutesy, real demurring, real baby. But I'm done. I wanna give me that. I wanna release like that, but I'm scared. Like, do you think I would scare a guy? Like, if I did that to him, like, yay, give me that, give it to me, give me that dick. I want that, but I'm scared. I'm scared.
All right, so check that out. She says, "I don't want to be feral." What did I tell you? These women are feral, and we're seeing that the women that actually accept this and accept men criticizing them, they don't care. They want to be feral. They want to be whores out here, and they're getting a free pass to do so, despite the fact that you're calling them all kind of pejoratives, thinking that that's going to change their mind. These women want to be wild horses. They want to be feral. This is how they want to be roughed up in bed. They want to be dominated. They want to be slapped, choked, whooped, spanked, all of that shit. They want you to lead. They want you to be the man. Now, of course, media and the liberals and all of these people are going to tell you otherwise. You need consent. All right, but women don't really want that. They want it, but they don't want it. All right, they want consent from loser ass niggas. All right, but when they want to be dominated, choked, whooped, spanked, and spit on and all that by the back of their throat and smacked on the ass, they know where to go. And she's saying the reason why she doesn't want to be feral is because she's going to scare the men off, which I've been trying to tell you that most of the reasons women don't behave the way you want them to is because you're going to get triggered. You're going to get scared. You're going to start judging them. This is why they're doing what they're doing. Okay. This is the reason why you see them doing what they're doing out here. Now that they don't have to answer to the average Joe, they're doing what they want and they're unapologetic about it. Same thing as you calling them prostitutes. That ain't going to stop them. They'll just rename it and call it something else. Well, I'm not a full-time one. I don't walk the street, so I'm not actually one. You have OnlyFans girls on. I'm not a prostitute. I'm different. They're just going to be like, I ain't going to call it that. You can call it that, but it ain't going to change my behavior. I'm going to still do it. So where men are trying to win with women with the aha, I got you, this is a losing battle. You're losing every time you engage in this conversation. You're losing. Anytime you debate them, you're losing. Anytime you're trying to argue with them and force their hand ecclesiastically, you're losing. You're losing. I'm always just telling you, man, these people want to be who they want to be. And now they have the only point in history where they can be that. And look at what they're choosing. Now, eventually they'll double back and say, where the good man at? And then they'll find you and they'll target you unfairly. And you have to be strong and say, that's okay. I don't want that. Or you can say, I want that. And then, you know, if you have leverage, you can basically tell them what they're going to get in return. Okay. So they'll go through this feral energy and then come back and then they'll want a man to settle down with. You don't have to be that guy. But this is where we are right now. This is what they want to be.
Is this a safe place? Probably not, but I need to get this off my chest. The way that I've been having sex lately, it's been real cutesy, real demurring, real baby. But I'm done. I wanna.
And there you go right there. And that's, black women, I always tell you that they're the most feral of the women. Okay. Because they are, anytime you have relations with a black woman, you will see how feral she'll become. All right. She'll become an absolute animal in the bed. All right. Latinas are number 2. Okay. White women are number 3. They're really feral, but they put on a flowery dress and you think, oh, she's a conservative. And then you ecclesiastically marry that whore. All right. And you thought she was a trad con and she a whole feral creature. Now all of a sudden, you a baby daddy number 3, thinking you getting a pure driven snow white woman. And she was feral in her college days. Okay. She was feral. She want to be feral.
Give me that.
Give me that. She wants that. And this is why they then go for Pookie, right? And this is where dudes be like, oh, there's a broke Pookie that gets women all the time. And I'm like, yeah, but you're not that type of guy. You're just broke. Okay. Broke Pookie knows how to treat her and doesn't judge her for being feral. Meanwhile, you're broke and you judge her for being ran through. Do you see the difference? It's not that he's broke because he's winning. He's broke and doesn't care that she's a whore. That's 2 different things. You're broke and you care about her being a whore. You're not going to get pussy that way. She's not going to unlock her feral nature that way because Pookie doesn't care she been ran through. Pookie's just saying, I'm next. And I'll treat you, choke you, whoop you, spank you. And so it's not that he's broken winning. He's broken. He don't care about her. You broken. You're caring about her. Every time you're on the internet, I care about these women. Body count matters. Guess what? Don't matter to Pookie. Body count don't matter to Pookie. Pookie will lay up on her knowing that another trick is fucking her. He got the stomach. You don't have the stomach. That's the difference. It's not that he's broken winning. It's that he don't care. He don't care about her. None of that shit.
At least like that. But I'm scared. Like, do you think I would scare a guy? Like, if I did that to him, like, yay! Yay! Give me that!
Look at that. And I want you to ask you something. Would you be scared of this? The answer is most guys will be scared. Okay. Most guys would be scared. Most guys would, there's a movie called Great Balls of Fire where Jerry Lee Lewis was marrying his teenage cousin who was about 13 or 14 at the time. Crazy story. Back in the rock and roll, the rural days of the South, the Bamas. Well, Jerry Lee Lewis, in his first intimate moment in the bedroom with his 13-year-old cousin, was surprised that she wasn't passive, right? She wasn't a virgin. She wasn't like, oochie, ouchie. She was into it. She was like, let's go. Give me that long dong Donkey Kong. Pause. And he got up off the bed. He was like, that's not the behavior of a virgin. That's not a behavior of a woman. So he was intimidated, AKA he was intimidated by strong women, dominant women, wild horses, and feral women. Even to the point these pickup artists will run game on a woman. And when that woman says, okay, let's go, just give me $400, the guy will run. He doesn't want a strong, aggressive sexual woman. He wants a conquest. He wants to be able to say, I got that woman to lay down and I got on top of her and I dominated her and controlled her and I broke her in. That's what he wants. Because men that do that strategy, they don't want dominant women. They want passive women. They want women he wants to believe that he's the first one to break that seal. Okay. But these women are running around here, peace leaves itching and want to be dominated. And that scares men. Especially men that have little sexual experience, and these women are hoes.
Yay! Give me that! Give it to me!
Yep, most men will not like that. No. Right? There are some guys that will like that. Most men, no, thank you. Okay, so that's why you're not seeing the true side of women. And that's why she said, I need a safe space to say what I want to say. I want to get choked, whooped, spanked, and all of that. Let's talk about this going on to the main event. We have this particular piece of data. 49% of men fear divorce more than being alone. Divorce trauma outweighs loneliness for men. If you want to know why men are choosing the male loneliness epidemic, it's not because they are fearing being alone. They're fearing being divorced. Okay, the bait and switch. New surveys findings reveal that nearly half of men fear the emotional and financial impact of divorce more than the idea of living alone. For many men, divorce is associated with long-lasting stress that can affect mental health, well-being for years. In fact, I always have the point of that you'll never recover from a divorce. It's a painful thing. You can't just shake it off. You will always have that amount of trauma with you in relationships, trust. It's all broken, all right? Because you had a person that you legally trusted and legally were supposed to be with forever, once that's broken, it's hard to recover, even to the point where people say you can get over it, and they'll have people say I got over it. That's fine. But do you realize that there's study been conducted that children of divorce, they experience greater trauma long term more than a family member, close family member dying? Okay, because we expect death, we don't expect divorce. Children expect their grandparents to die. They don't expect their parents to divorce. So those effects are long lasting. In fact, I call divorce a form of cancer that you live with long term, terminal cancer, right? You're just living with it long term, and you really got to shake your experience in relationships to overcome it, to be able to overcome it greatly. Like for me, I had to do a free agent lifestyle, meaning that marriage was off the table. And I had to live with what came with that. Well, what if you met a woman that would have been your best wife? I have to say, I will live without that, right? I will live without that. I will live without gambling on the idea that there could be a better second wife, because that's a complete gamble. I lost the first one. If I lose the second one, I'm done forever. Like I will never financially recover at 50. Let's say I got divorced at 36. Let's say I got remarried at 42. And if I got divorced before 50, I would be done financially. I would be over. Everything would be over. I would never financially recover. So most people that experience trauma during divorce, they don't even have to get divorced. They can see somebody else get divorced, because divorce is contagious. A coworker, their father, their uncle, their brother, right? You're like, I don't want no parts of that. They can listen to YouTube content. Oh, hell no. I don't want any parts of that. Celebrities. So you don't even have to go through a divorce to realize, yo, man, this shit ain't worth it, bro. I ain't, no, fuck all that. You see how your brother got divorced and he got fucked over. Research says trauma connected to separation often carries heavier psychological weight for men due to financial burdens, custody concerns, and social pressure. These factors combine to create a deeper fear of the aftermath than the fear of isolation. In fact, I always tell you that most of the time you're going to be alone in your divorce. So people that have never divorced, they don't realize how difficult it is. You lose your friend circle, you lose your church, potentially you lose your family. Sometimes your family is like, well, tough titty, pay the child support and don't fuck up my relationship with my grandkids. That's your own mother. Your own mother will set your ass up properly, gassed up, hoodied and masked up for that fast buck. She be laying in the bushes to light that ass up. All right, your home mother will be like, hey, whatever you do, don't fuck up my relationship with my grandkids. So if you got to be homeless and you got to pay that child support and you got to go to jail for failure to pay child support, okay, there's a lot of things that happen that when you've never been married or divorced, you don't even understand yet. You don't even understand it. Okay, you don't even you're like, well, what's the problem? You don't even get it. And especially if you've been divorced without kids, you don't get it, right? You're never really divorced without kids. Okay, you're always going to have that person as a co-parent forever, even if you've been alienated. So it doesn't go away. This pain forever. And it says right here, the study highlights that loneliness is no longer the dominant worry for men in relationships. Instead, the potential instability from a breakup is the primary concern during hesitation into long-term commitments. Yeah. Yep. I mean, that's the obvious. And somebody even, this is the ignorant statements I see. Prenup, gentlemen's prenup. Guys, every time I see that, and the lead attorney does that, no disrespect to him, and he's been married and divorced before, but he had no children. This is why, and even Andrew Wilson, who in his ignorance, he never touched this. And this is why people will never understand. Guys, prenup doesn't prevent child custody issues. It doesn't prevent child support. It doesn't prevent parental alienation. And it doesn't prevent anything related to children. Okay? So when Andrew Wilson, ecclesiastic marriage, you can't get divorced, but you can go to child support. You can be parental alienated. You can have custody issues. And I'm sitting there trying to explain this, and his own audience is dumb because they don't get it. Again, people don't get it until you're in the middle of it. Same thing with the lead attorney. I'm like, bro, he talks about his divorce and the prenup. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. And he advocates for prenup. He even suggested that I didn't know about prenups. I'm like, that's crazy. But lead attorney, bro, you got divorced with no children. That's completely different. But most people get divorced with children. That's why there's an incentive for the woman to get divorced. That's why the women file the most, because there's a reason for it. She gets to get child support and custody and so forth and so on. So when you get divorced with children, it's a completely different ball game. It's a long-term. The lead attorney got divorced. He's never even talked to his ex-wife again. When you get divorced with children, you got to talk to your ex-wife forever until you're dead. You can't just say, well, fuck her. And you're going to talk to her ass. And she's going to take you back for child support modifications. Your kids got to go to college, and you got to buy them a car. There's a whole bunch of shit. They're going to get married. They're going to get married. They're going to graduate from college and high school. You got to see this bitch for the rest of your life. Your kids are going to have kids. Who's going to be there? Your motherfucking ex-wife. Who you hate that bitch. She's still there. Like a motherfucking cancer tumor. Like herpes. This bitch still here. And she hates your motherfucking guts. That means if you get remarried, your new wife got to see your ex-motherfucking wife. This shit ain't no game. Prenup don't stop none of that shit. Prenup stops none of it. So people keep saying prenup. People ain't talking about prenup. People talking about that bullshit that comes after the prenup. Prenup ain't stopping none of that motherfucking shit. It ain't stopping you from going to jail for failure for child support. It ain't stopping child support. Okay? So people keep throwing prenup out there. I'm like, bro, that don't have nothing to do with it. Nothing. It's only going to stop you from getting divorce rate. That's it. Okay. Then your kids are going to have kids. What if she remarries a whole nother nigga and that nigga raising your kids? Does a prenup stop that? No. No, but there's long-term effects of another man seeing your motherfucking kids, spanking them, raising them, dropping them off to school, putting their ass on the motherfucking internet like he's super stepdaddy, and you sitting over there paying child support to that motherfucking household. Does a prenup stop that? No. No. So any ignorant nigga saying prenup is an alternative for the pain of divorce, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. It only stops a third of the pain. That is not the end all be all. Okay. It is not the end all be all. You got a whole set of problems, nigga, when you out here putting kids up. As soon as the kids are involved, all that prenup shit go right out the fucking window. Okay. Okay. Out the fucking window. That's if the prenup literally goes through, all right, because she can fight that too, but that's a whole other thing. Somebody says, interesting, a prenup doesn't stop child support. Again, y'all need to stop listening to people trying to discredit me. I'm trying to put y'all up on heavy game. You cannot put anything related to the children in a prenup. It only stops your retirement benefits and what she leaves with and what you leave with, maybe the house. That's all that happens in there. The bank account, community property, clothes, cars. That's what you can put in a prenup. You cannot put kids in the prenup. You cannot put child support in the prenup. You can't even put custody in a prenup. You can't even put custody. You can't be in there like, oh, we automatically get 50-50 custody. You can put it in there. As soon as you go into court, she says you touch one of the kids, you beat them, you were aggressive, you yelled at them. They're gonna send the kid to counseling. The counselor's going to say, yeah, I think the kid's better with the mom. There goes your fucking prenup. Yep. The mom just has to tell the kid and coach them. Tell the court, tell the counselor that you're scared of your father. Now you got supervised visits. Now you're paying more child support. Now you got child support arrears and a whole prenup. With a prenup. Okay. So prenup is not the end all be all. It's a nice little tool to have, but trust me, they don't stop shit because you plan on having children with this woman. You plan on having children with this woman? Yes. Okay. Well, prenup don't mean shit. Okay. All right, don't mean a goddamn thing. It just prevents your what you own. All right, what your tangible shit. All right, doesn't include child support. Now you got a whole nother man living with your kids, raising them, and then that nigga's at the door when it's time for your pickup. Okay, are you ready for that? Are you ready for that? When you pick your kids up for your visitation, and a whole nother man wiping your kid's face with a napkin. All right, and they jump in the car, and it was like stepdaddy out there made us a whole breakfast, pancakes and bacon and eggs. And he's standing out there waving at your ass like, yeah, motherfucker. And he see your kids more than you see them. He sees your kids more than you see them. Are you ready for that? Nigga, do you have the stomach? Because a prenup ain't stopping that. Okay? It's time to fight, nigga. You gonna be like, whoo. Huh? And your kids are excited. Oh, he made us breakfast and eggs, pigs in a blanket. And you out there can barely afford, with your child support money, nigga. With your child support money. And you barely can take your kids out for a McMuffin, nigga. Because you done sent $800 over there to their house. And you broke. And they telling you how great stepdad is. Huh? A prenup don't stop none of that shit. And then he going to fuck your ex-wife, but you can't afford to go take out a date. You can't afford to take your girl on a date, but he going to fuck your ex-wife when you pick up your kids after feeding your kids breakfast. Hey man, you better boss the fuck up. You better boss the fuck up. You better realize the only way you going to survive that is to get filthy, rotten, motherfucking rich. All right, that's what I'm going to tell you. Get filthy rich. That's why you see me out here every day. Nah, I'm going for the money. Fuck the rest of that shit. Fuck that cold approach shit. Where the money at? Get my money up. But where men are the male loneliness epidemic is that men are just saying, nah, the relationship ain't worth it. There's just too much risk. And the woman says, I would never do that to you. And then when you get married to her, she will proceed to find a way to do exactly that to you. And what do you have to do? You either have to divorce her or be stuck, which is the main event topic. You have a woman that says, I am married and love someone else too. But that's not why I might be getting a divorce. Okay. So this woman is in her, let's take a look at it. Okay. We have a whole master splinter here. We have her in some nice cars. I think all cars pretty much come with leather seats at this point, unless you got the really stock issue car. But nice, looks like an SUV. Okay. Moonroof, sunroof. All right. She looks like she's been well kept. But she says right here, I'm married and love someone else. This goes along with the marriage will. Let's listen to the video. How much of the video? There's 4 minutes of this video, so I'll have to interject. I can't let 4 minutes run across the screen without making some points. So I'll tip in, every 40 seconds or so. Here we go.
To talk about it, and that's just, it is what it is. I might be separating from my partner. I also have fallen in love with somebody else while being in love with my partner. However, that is not the reason that we might be separating. Full disclosure, just because my partner is aware of this doesn't mean that I didn't fuck up. I did fuck up. A lot of shit that's happening right now is because of my fuck ups, but I want to be completely honest about it. I have to be in order for this to mean something to help anybody else. The reason that we might be separating is because I've discovered that I am polyamorous and my partner might not be. We have been in an ethically non-monogamous relationship for the last year.
Let me stop her right here. So again, this is a bait and switch. For the people who don't know, prenup ain't going to help you. Okay. They do have children. So this is a bait and switch. All right. For the people who don't know and the first time watching me and getting educated here. In the marriage will, you will go through phase 1, which is the upper right, which is the connection phase. Number 2, the investment phase is going to be on the middle right. Number 3 is going to be on the bottom left, the bait and switch, which she changes the rules. And you either agree to the change or you don't. If you don't agree, you will go to, if you do agree, you will be a henpecked husband, a cuck. If you don't agree, you'll go to number 4, the legal disengagement phase. All right. That is on the far middle left of the screen. And then you also have then depression and self-deletion is considered, all of this stuff. And then what people do is they'll find a new girl and they'll just go back into the wheel. All right, I'll just find a new girl and they'll just end up repeating the cycle. That second marriage third marriage. And they'll just think it's a new woman. Well, the problem is the system, not the woman. Okay, so she gets to change her mind midstream. And women go through this as well. All right, but we're talking to men. She gets to change her mind midstream. And then if you don't agree, you get divorced. She said, we were married, we had kids, and then she became ethically non-monogamous, which basically means they can sleep with whoever they want, but they need to probably tell the person, all right, let the person know. She introduced that into the marriage. She introduced that. The man did not introduce that. If the man introduces an ethically non-monogamous to a woman and she doesn't want to do it, you're not ethically non-monogamous. You're basically a jerk. I can't believe my husband brought that in. But if she brought it in, guys are more likely to do it. Okay, we can sleep with whoever we want. Okay, fine. And then she goes and whores herself out. Every weekend she getting fucked. Now you, on the other hand, is going to be much more difficult unless you're paying escorts to get some pussy. Because it's harder for a man to go to meet women at a bar and say that they're married and they're in an open or ethically non-monogamous relationship and the woman go for it. But a woman can go to any guy and say, hey, I have an open relationship, come bang me. The guy that said that's all he needs to know. All right, he's gonna bang your wife, and then she's gonna get ran through, and you'll never play keep up. You're never gonna catch up. Okay, and then you're gonna feel some sort of way about that. So what does she do next? She now wants to say she's fallen in love with one of these guys, which is another thing that's gonna happen. As soon as you open up the marriage and you get chemicals involved, soon as she gets nutted in and another guy hits that bottom, she's going to catch feelings for that guy. So now you got another problem. She initiated this. All of this is at her hands, and she already got the kids. So she is now took in her marriage and destroyed it, and now saying, you know what? I might have to get divorced from this guy to go over to the other nigga hitting that bottom. All right. This is insane level of, this is why men have, they'd rather just be alone. And guess what? A prenup does nothing for this. Prenup ain't stopping this. And the fallout from this divorce, prenup ain't gonna stop none of this shit. All right, let's continue.
We both have been exploring our sexuality. And I won't speak on his behalf, but for me, I realized that I am not interested in randomly hooking up with people and then that being it. I'm not interested in having like a friends with benefits. I discovered that I'm interested in connecting with people in a romantic way, perhaps is as another partner, but as a separate partner, or even as a kind of non-labeled situation where there is love and there is connection.
Let me stop right here. I have to stop this because apparently, you know, what happened is, and this is what happens when you marry women that have been already sexed out, right? But now what she's saying essentially is the guy has some exploring his sexuality, which is interesting. All right, he might be exploring some dudes, which is crazy. All right, but then you even have her saying, but I'm not interested in guys that just want to hook up. I want guys that want relationship too. You're in a marriage. She's literally in a marriage, but she want the other dude. What she essentially doesn't want that other dude to do is be banging other women because he hit that bottom. So she caught feelings. She caught feelings for the other guy. She wants to reel him in and prevent him from fucking other women. Not caring about who the husband does or if he fucking other man or women. Now she wants to hold on to this man here and prevent him from having monogamous sex with other women. So she got to lock him down. She got to lock him down. She's going to give you the recipe here of why she's doing this. This is important here. Okay. This is incredible. People still marrying these women. Here we go. She doesn't want just a hookup.
And not necessarily an involvement in my everyday life, but the access to that love and the possibility of that love and the presence of that love is there.
I don't want them every day. I just want them when I want them. Same thing as when she has sex with you in a marriage. All right. She doesn't want to have sex when you want to have sex. She wants to have sex when she wants to have sex. This is what you guys sign up for. Okay. And then tell me you ain't paying. Let's continue.
This is something that my partner and I are working through right now. I don't know which way it's going to go. I don't know how it's going to end, but I wanted to bring it to the internet because what better place to bring such a judge-worthy topic to? Just full disclosure, like he is fully aware of what is happening. We're having conversations about it. We've been going to a marriage counselor, psychologist for a while.
Let me stop right there. And I'm having to stop to make these points. Marriage counseling. I always tell you, it's cooked. There's no saving this. This is over. Just get divorced. Man, just stop the pain right now. Marriage counseling is over. Partner, she keeps referring to him as partner. This is why I say partnerships don't work, because the woman has just as much leverage as you. Fuck it. All right. He can't walk when he wants to walk because he's tied into her economically and socially and spiritually, because they're on even level. So he can't walk. He can't take his ball and run. He can't take his money and walk. He can't just pay the bitch off. He's stuck with her. He needs 50% of the rent. And he's got to go through all this bullshit. Marriage counseling, her getting fucked and nutted in by another nigga that she wants to keep on the mantle. He can't fuck other women. This is what happened when you don't have leverage. You end up in foolish shit like this and then tell me it's free. Right? This is not free. And people will say that they're not paying for sex. Look at how they're paying psychologically, physically, emotionally. This is crazy.
What ultimately comes down to is that you can't force somebody to be polyamorous. You can't force somebody to be non-monogamous. It's just a part of who you are.
Wow.
Because I got married, well, I got with him when I was 18 and he was 25.
Here we go.
The age discrepancy there means that as I get older, I'm going to go through changes, which he's been a wonderful supporter of. He's been a great supporter of my career as an entrepreneur, as an artist, as somebody who's more than just a mother, to have my own friends, my own life. And in many, many ways, he's the partner that people would wish for.
Let me stop her right there. So don't I warn you of this? I warn you of this exact same thing all the time. So number one, we got the young. Well, I was so young. I was a kid. I was a child. My brainstem wasn't developed. He was much older. There was an age discrepancy. He had more leverage. All right. He was 25 messing with an 18-year-old. Okay. She wasn't blaming on being young, but she wanted the marriage. She had to have consent. Number two, what else did she say? I changed, AKA the bait and switch. They're going to change. She was 18, then she became 24. You think you're going to what? Ecclesiastically, spiritually, socially pressure them to do what they want to do? No, that wasn't going to happen. He was tied into her. He was locked in, even with a prenup. She was like, I changed. I grew. I became a different person. And everybody does. Everybody does. So you're all vulnerable to this when you get married. I don't care what age. She was 30 when you married her. At 40, she changed. So do men. At 30, at 25, you were a pookie. At 45, you were different too. You were more focused on your business. But she said, I bait and switched him. I was 18. I changed. She missed the streets. What is this? I wasted I gave up my younger years, or I lost my younger years trying to be a wife and a mother. I should have been out here whoring around like these other whores. That's going to happen. What do? Most of the time, you can't do anything. You're stuck. So she's ironing out all these points that I've been trying to warn you about ecclesiastically. She wanted to realize and be out in these streets. She got a tattoo. You're going to see signs, cutting of hair, dyeing of hair, tattoos, nose rings, all right, tongue rings, all that, nipple piercings. She might be exploring some sort of BDSM. Men go through this where they get married, but they want to be out here with some hoes. All right. And so they'll start, lusting and going out to things where hoes are going to be at. They're going to miss the outside and want to go to nightclubs. The grass is greener. Let's continue.
He is the partner that I would wish for and that I do want to keep. I don't want to lose him as a partner. Ultimately, it comes down to, as I've gotten older, I'm going to be 29 next month. I have discovered this part of myself, and it almost feels like a non-negotiable to be who I am.
Look at that. It's non-negotiable. What did I tell you on the bait and switch? What do I tell you? She discovered who she was at 29. I mean, that's not abnormal behavior. That's very normal. But what did she said? These are non-negotiables. I said at the bait and switch, when she changes the rules and you don't agree, you get a divorce. Okay? They're non-negotiable rule changes. That's what she said. Did she say that? Yes. And this is what women do. They give you a, what do they call it? They give you a ultimatum or whatnot. They give you an ultimatum to get married and an ultimatum to the rule change. You either change these, accept these rules, or fuck you. You're getting divorced. I'm taking the kids and you'll never see them again. Okay. Like this is literally everything that I teach you about. And look how she's saying it. It doesn't sound so nihilistic when she's saying it, does it? It doesn't sound so bitter when she's saying it, does it? It sounds all flowery. You could put a goddamn heart behind what she's saying. It doesn't sound as vicious. Okay. But she's saying exactly what I've told you they're going to say. Word for word, bar for bar. And she don't seem like she taking accountability at all. Like she like, whatever. All right, it is what it is. And people in the comment section, cheer her on. You go, girl. You were so young and he took advantage of you. He groomed you. You change. He either gets with the program or not. Okay. It don't sound so nihilistic, does it? But this is going to cost you years in child support. Because she also, let me just clue you in. She's also making her escape plan, knowing or assuming how much money she's going to get when she's escaping. Okay. So when she leaves and she divorces you and all of that and goes to the next man, she's going to count how much child support. She's going to investigate this. How much child support am I going to get? Am I going to get the house? Am I going to get to keep the car? Is he going to pay me alimony? Because, oh, by the way, it's a 10-year mark. Did you notice that too? She's almost going to be 29 when she says she got with him. 18. 10-year mark. I can get lifetime alimony. This is all considered before she makes that leap. And that's why she's able to say with strength, I got leverage over you. You either do this or it's non-negotiable. You get screwed. All right, let me continue here. I mean, I know y'all got to want to argue me. It is what it is. Let's continue.
I don't want to lose my partner over it. I love my partner in almost all ways. He's the perfect partner, but nobody's perfect. Obviously, there's always room for connection. And that's, you know, when you have friends, if you have more than one friend, does that mean that you don't love your other friend enough? And
I mean, if men say this shit, we're all kind of dogs. We can love two people. We can have other people that we love. You can't, though. I mean, this is incredible.
that's why you need more friends. I love my partner enough to build a form of a happy life. I also love myself enough to be in this position where I'm trying to decide if that is enough. We only get one life. I'm like literally breaking out into hives. We only get one life. And I'm trying to navigate how to handle this in a way that doesn't ask him to change who he is, because I would never ask that. Again, you can't force somebody to be polyamorous. You can't force yourself to be polyamorous.
Look at this, man. Look, she mentioned something that I want to highlight here. I'm sorry for interrupting this. She mentioned something I want to highlight. She said that let me go back. This
Enough, and that's why you need more.
She said he was the perfect mate, the perfect husband. She keeps calling him a partner. That's why I don't like the word partner. She didn't say husband. Now she's going, can't force him to be polyamorous. But if he doesn't want to be, I'm getting divorced. Right? And now child support. So you're the perfect husband. You're the husband all women will want. That's what she said. All women will want this guy. Perfect partner. But I need this pussy filled up and nutted in. I mean, I would never get remarried in the United States. I mean, certainly not barely the world if this is what you're dealing with. I mean, you're the perfect man and it's no go. And she's not attracted to you and she's not staying monogamous.
Life. I'm like literally breaking out into hives. We only get one life.
Oh, by the way,
I'm trying to
by the
navigate.
way, fear of missing out, only one life, FOMO. I got to do what's best for me. Hell with him. Also, you notice, is this a skeezer? Does she look like a scab pulling skeezer? I mean, she looks like a slut, but she sounds like one. But this looks like a regular basic woman. Okay, you guys always think, you know, you women always think I'm always talking about the skeezers and the hoes. This is a regular woman, regular, degular, stock factory issued. She ain't got the baby hairs and she ain't scantily clad and she ain't got the, this is a regular white woman. This is about as regular as a white woman you can get. But this woman also probably been ran through before she got married. This is why I always say the idea that women have more sexual experience than the men they marry is going to backfire on that guy. Because, yeah, you were the perfect person, but she misses the deals, Nick. She was getting ran through before you showed up and you wifed her. Now she's pivoting back to that. And he's going along for the ride.
How to handle this in a way that doesn't ask him to change who he is, because I would never ask that. Again, you can't force somebody to be polyamorous. You can't force yourself to be polyamorous. But ultimately, it's like denying your heart, your sexuality, even,
Your sexuality.
in my opinion, to be put in this position and decide, can I live without this? And that's what I'm trying to navigate right now. Again, I love my partner. I don't want to lose my partner.
Wow.
But along with this process and this journey, that is a consequence, a potential consequence of what might happen. And I know people are going to judge me for that because I do have a beautiful family. I do have
There it is. You got a beautiful family.
a beautiful relationship. I have so many things that I'm so lucky to have, and I feel lucky, and that it might seem that I take for granted. But I don't know if it's enough for me.
She wants the dick on the side. She wants all of it. Yep. She wants all of it. She wants the good dick on the side. She wants the party. She also mentioned this. She mentioned that independence thing that I've been telling you about. Women want marriages and relationships plus independence. Like, being independently single is not enough. Being in a marriage is not enough. They want to be married and independent. They want to be married and single. Now, this is what men used to want to be. Women have adopted this in the Gen Z young millennials. So they're like, I want to be free to do what I want to do and explore myself and explore what I want to do. It's mostly she want to get dick down. That's what it amounts to. That's what it sounds like to me. It's all coming down that she wants to get dick down on the side. All right. That's what it sounds like. All right. But she's mentioning that right there. And she's like, you either deal with it or not. You either live with it or not. I don't want to miss out on this. I missed out on it already. I gave that up for motherhood and marriage. Now I want to non-negotiably go out there and get digged.
If my partner can't live his full happiness, I'm going to make this a series. If you have any questions that I should start out with, even if it's judgment or judgy questions, let me know. I'm ready to talk about it because I'm tired of keeping it in, I guess.
I'm tired of keeping it in. So is Tyrone. All right. He put it in her mouth. He's shoving it here and there. Guys, I'm telling you, man, most of these women are not marriageable. All right. They keep saying it and y'all keep talking about marriage and what women need to do to submit and how men need to do this. And bro, it's pointless. We're beyond that. We're FUBAR. Because even if you got people married, it's going to be a disaster. It's going to be this. Half the marriages are going to be women just like this. You can't just turn it on and off monogamy. Okay. You can't just be like, I'm going to be non-monogamous. And then when I get married, I'm going to be monogamous. Trust me, I got married. It ain't easy to turn off non-monogamous behavior and hooking up. Okay. This is why the Bible always kind of preaches the fact that both people should actually avoid premarital sex for this reason. All right. And I agree with it. And if you want the best relationships, it would be best if both people came in with no history of sex. That would be the best case scenario. And even that is shaky. That's like an 80% chance that y'all can exist. If one person was a whore and the other one was a half a whore, good luck. All right, just open the marriage up and do whatever you want. But you can't just turn on and off monogamy when you feel like it. Okay, you might be able to do it for a period of time, a year, 6 months, 2 years, 5 years. You're not going to be able to do it forever. Not with horror culture today. Not with the culture out here, because there's pussy out here to be gotten. And there's harlots out here that want to be hoes. They want to suck a dick. All right, they miss sucking the dick. They want to be out here. So it's going to be harder for that to happen. But share your comments about this particular thing here. This is a video that proves a lot of what I talk about. And I wanted to present that to you. What if that was your wife? What if that's your wife on the internet? Right? You're married to her and your wife posts a TikTok like that. Like, this is how spineless men are. This is what men have become. Your own wife out here talking grave shit on your marriage, exposing your whole marriage, bro. Goodness. Shout out to Leo K says, speaking of new rules, bars and Pattaya apparently raised the minimum from 2 beers to 10 beers. Plus, you have to pay the bar fine before taking the girl out. Expats are fuming. You got to boss up 10 beer minimum. Oh, the humanity. All right, man, they messing up the game before I even get there. ETC Ready to Work says, have you ever traveled to places like American Samoa, Guam, and Northern Mariana? Is it Marina Islands? I'm just curious because I see a lot of people going far when these here. I'm not sure what that part is. I haven't been to those places. Those places are definitely not on my list in the next couple of years. But you see a lot of people going far. I'm not sure what the next part says. I think 1MT has lived in Guam. And these are all some places that people are going to, the one thing I see about a lot of traveler content is what they'll do is they'll go to one place. And by the time you pony up the money to go to that one place, they're telling you don't go there. And then they go into another place. So you do have to be careful that, as people move around, they're going to discover the trade-offs. No one place is a solution. You're just going to get there in trade-offs. Then they'll go to that place. They'll realize what the trade-offs are. And they'll realize, well, maybe I don't like it here. It was fun for a period of time, and I don't like this part of the trade-off. Maybe it's the humidity. Maybe it's the exposure the country gets. Maybe it's the government is not as stable. Maybe they change a law. Okay, maybe the criminals adjust. Remember, a part of things that happen is criminals will adjust. So when you go there and you say the women are cheap here, the criminals adjust to that. They're like, okay, all these men are coming over here to take advantage of the cheap women. Also, sociologically, women will perceive these women as victims. Okay, even men will perceive women as victims. So you guys are going over there to take advantage of those poor, young, economically strapped women. So sociologically, people there and here will come to defend them and say, oh, these men are just going over there to groom them. They'll call you a pedophile. They'll say you're dating women that are not age appropriate. Okay. So know that about the next space. And I see what people are doing is they're going from one place to another. All right. I see them in Brazil, then they're in Kenya, then they're in Argentina, then they're in Peru, then they're in Chile, then they're in Colombia, then they go over there to Venezuela, then they go to the Philippines, then Thailand, now they're in Vietnam, now they're going to South Korea, they leave Japan. It's like, okay, it's going to be one place to the next. All right. So just know that there's some people that have been there before you. And as soon as you go on the internet to say, well, this is the next best hotspot. All right. Just know by the time you done broadcast it, they just went over there and realized what the trade-offs are. There's a lot of different things. That's why I tell you all the time, there's no solutions. Anybody looking for a solution, you're misguided. There's only trade-offs. So when you take a position, you got to know the pros and cons of that decision. I'm going to take a decision. I'm going to make a decision. Just like me, I'm not going to get remarried. What are the pros and cons to that? Well, I know what the pros are. I know what the cons are. I accept it. But what people do is they're looking for a solution that fixes the cons over here, and I'm going to get pros and cons only. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're just take the solutions. Just take the trade-offs. Accept the pros and cons. America's a great place, but people are trying to make America somewhere else. You're not getting. America's unique with their issues. We have issues in America. People have been doing this since before the internet. I'm gonna go from a big city to the rural area. City slickers, funny farm. Well, they'll be like, I'm gonna leave the big city and I'm gonna go to a small area, a small town. Small towns, I lived in big cities, I've lived in small towns. The problem with small towns that you do not realize is everybody's in your business. When you're used to being somewhat, nobody's looking at you and paying attention with you. When you're in a big city, you can do whatever you want. You can creep, you can pick boogers, you can fart, you can do whatever you want and nobody will know. You go to a small town, you pick a booger, everybody knows. You fart, everybody knows. And everybody gonna know when you farted, why you farted. You're gonna be the talk of the town for farting. Are you ready for this? Do you have the stomach? They're gonna be at your door talking about, we heard you farted. And why did you fart there? Like, you know what I mean? Like, right up in your doorstep. You'll be on the newspaper. Nigga farted in the goddamn gas station. So don't think you're gonna get some side pussy without nobody knowing it. All right, you're gonna be the talk of the motherfucking town. Whatever you do, nigga, they caught you doing whatever. They don't know when you came and when you went. Okay, so if you ain't ready for that, you're not gonna, if you don't understand that that's a pro and a con, and you think I'll just get over that and I'll just tell these people to mind their own business. As soon as you get over there, you're gonna realize that's the way they do shit. So you can't just tell them to mind their own business. And the way we do it, oh, here's another thing. You're gonna go from a big city to a small town. What are you gonna do? Well, in California, what we used to do was you're gonna get ran out of town. They don't want to hear that bullshit of how you used to do it in New York, how you used to do it in Cleveland, how you used to do it in Chicago, how you used to do it in Seattle, how you used to do it in Los Angeles. They don't give a fuck about how you did it there. Just because you think it's better, you're going to want to do shit that you used to do in LA, in Rock Springs, Wyoming, and you're going to tell all these motherfucking hillbillies and meth addicts how to do it. And they're going to run your ass out of town. They be like, oh, here come the motherfucking big city guy. He think he knows how to do it better. They're going to run your ass right out of town. And well, here in motherfucking Chicago and in motherfucking Rock Springs, this is the way we do it. They can live with it. Okay. So people think they can take their utopia and the little things they don't like and take it to where they're going. You don't get to do that. Same thing with freedom and democracy and freedom of speech and freedom of the press. You're going to take that to Thailand and you're going to take that shit and we don't care about none of that shit. Nigga, here's 10 years in prison and we going to cane your ass on sundown. And everybody going to know about it. We putting the cane on your motherfucking hands. We going to put the cane on your hide. Public disgracing. We going to tar and feather your ass because that's where we are in our world. Okay, so there's just trade-offs. Same thing with relationships. There's just trade-offs. You want a girlfriend? Yeah. You're not going to feel like you're paying for pussy until you do. You don't want a girlfriend? Well, then everything's going to feel like you're paying for pussy. Dates, right? Well, you got dates, short-term relationships, escorts, strippers, all right, junior college girls. Everything's going to add up. But if you want to hide the fact that you're paying for pussy, get a girlfriend. And then 2 years later, when she breaks up with you, what are you going to say? I paid for this and I paid for that. You're going to tell me everything you paid for. And I'm like, well, you were paying for pussy. You just didn't realize it. Right? Now you want to tell me all the things you lost and all the things you paid for and all the things you covered and she didn't appreciate you. Yeah, you were paying for pussy. That's what you were doing. Okay, what the fuck? All right. Anytime she did something for you, you paid for it. Fuck out of here, nigga. But dudes will act like that shit. And I'm like, man, y'all crazy out here. There's pros and cons to everything. There's trade-offs to everything. There are no solutions. Coach didn't provide solutions. There are none. That's why. There's no solution. Shout out to our brother Red Pill, Luffy. Happy Saturday. Sadly, I have to assume that most men who are married now have to bend the knee of cuckoldry for their wife. Many of them are for sure in swinger relationships. He says, I'm the only one. He says, it's the only way for a marriage to work now. The man has to be the ultimate cuck. All right. And even if she's not swinging, if his wife wants to go to girls' nights out, that's cuckoldry at that point. That's an open relationship. I'm old school. But if a wife has to insinuate that she got to go travel to Vegas and go travel to Miami with her girls and go to Dubai and go out the girls' nights out, and he says, that's a cuckold relationship. Period. That's a cuck relationship. That ain't a progressive guy. He ain't open-minded. All right, because no point in history women will go and be able to do that shit and get away with it. But these weak-ass men will find a way. Well, that's a cuckold relationship. That man is allowing that woman to go out and flirt and have other niggas talk and fill up on and finger fuck his wife and girlfriend. And occasionally she'll suck a dick in a closet or a bathroom or whatever, or go home with that nigga and claim that she fell asleep at her homegirl's house drunk. All right, there's no way. And somebody said he a pimp. He ain't no pimp neither, because he paying for that woman to do it. All right, all his support system is around paying her to do it. Now, that's not to say you can't accept your girls going out the girl night out, but you a cuck at that point. It ain't part of my agenda. I want no parts of that shit. I will not I would not commit a relationship to a woman that wants to do that. What I would do, this is what I would do. What would you do, coach? What's your solution? Okay, what I would do is not commit to that woman. We can be friends and fuck buddies and friends with benefits and all that shit, but you can't live under my fucking roof if that's what you want to do. But we can have a relationship. We can fuck 2 or 3 times a week. We can either, you can either be the face. I can be like, this is my girl. All right, but you ain't about to live up under me and shit and steal up all my oxygen and live all up under my motherfucking heater and air conditioning. All right, but you ain't about to do all that. You're going to be one of the, I'm going to have a roster of bitches too. All right, but you ain't going to be up here going to a house party and shit all the way to midnight and then coming home with a hangover and shit after. Nah, fuck all that. All right, not me. Not me. So I wouldn't commit to her. That's my solution. No commitment. You get no commitment if you want to act like that. But I ain't gonna stop. Understand this. Most of my ways that I treat women is I never tell them what they can and can't do. I tell them what I ain't fixing to do. That's what I do. That gives me the power. That actually makes her either pine or change her behavior to fit me, or she could just either deal with me or not. But what men are trying to do, where you're losing, is you're always trying to tell them what they can and can't do. That's not how you work with women. I've been working with women forever. As soon as you tell them that, they're going to feel like you're controlling them. So what I say is, I don't accept that type of behavior, rather than I don't allow that. You can't do that. I don't allow that. That literally is going to put her in the, I'm a victim. You're trying to control me. What I do is say, well, I don't accept that. But you can do it. But what I ain't going to do is accept it. That way I can still stay free, and she could just hit me with the insecure bullshit, but that don't mean shit. All right. So I basically say, what the fuck I ain't going to do. I give myself the power. This is what I ain't going to do. This is what I don't accept. These are my boundaries. Okay. As opposed to getting with the woman and then telling her what she can't do. You're not allowed to. You can't do. You can't talk to people. I got to check your phone. No, I ain't got to do none of that shit. I ain't got to do none of it. So, bitch, you want to be out on the weekend doing whatever fuck you want every now and then? Well, then you don't get me. All right. Go find another nigga. All right. But it ain't going to be me. All right. It's not, you got the wrong one. Shout out to Harden says, old international ass nigga in the building. Shout out to you. Okay. That way I get to keep my own boundaries and shit, and I don't let them in, because once you let them in, they can renege on you and renegotiate. And then you got to accept it. Well, I guess I got to accept it. No, I don't. I don't got to accept the goddamn thing. Okay. All right. And the way I keep the leverage is I don't give them the relationship. I don't give them the marriage. I did it one time. Never again, bro. I'm telling you, never again will I give a woman that much leverage over me. But we can still fuck and hang out, and we can still go on dates. Sometimes every now on vacation. All right. But, women always be trying to get me to take them on trips. I'm like, you realize that it's a work trip, number one. And number two, I'm going to be fucking other women when I go there. Okay. I'm not paying for me to not fuck other women when I'm there. All right. When I go to other countries, I fuck other women. What's the point of me bringing you to another country when I'm only trying to attempt to fuck you? Like what? So if you want to go on a trip with me, and you want to see me fucking another woman, I do what you want. All right. You can read a book on the other side of the bed while I take this other woman to Pound Town. All right. But that's going to happen. And I've done that before. All right. But don't think I'm going to be out here just catering to your monkey ass. And I'm going to ask you, can you record this for me for my Instagram? And the bitch will be like, I ain't here to record you. Yes, the fuck you are. You the cameraman, bitch. You here for work. And then when I want to work that pussy, I'm going to be there working that pussy. You got to give it up as soon as I say give it up. All right. Because that's what I do with the women that come. When I go to their country and they come to my room, they give it up when I say give it up. And I put a couple of dollars on right here on the nightstand. All right. Bitch think I'm going to go be monogamous with them and pay for it. Fuck out of here, bro. Pay for them to be here so they can go buy knickknacks and go on excursions and shit. And I could go to work taking her ass here and there and to and fro. All right. When she get a goddamn stomach ache from eating too much food, I got to stay in the hotel room with her monkey ass. Hell no. You coming here to work. You ain't getting no hours off. You on call 24/7. When I say we doing something, bitch, when I say jump, say how high. And if you don't want to do the shit, I ain't going to find out when I get there. I'm going to tell you what it is before you go. All right. And if you say, well, I don't want to do that. Well, stay your ass at home then. Wait till I get back to Cleveland, bitch. All right, I ain't missing shit. I'm getting new pussy when I'm going. All right, but I ain't trying to take you from Cleveland to get the same pussy in Thailand. I could have got in Cleveland and paying for it. Fuck out of here, bro. I ain't got no time for the bullshit. Y'all be out here bullshitting and negotiating with these hoes. Got time for this shit. All right, y'all be out here. This is why I say be a free agent. Leverage and options is everything. When you got leverage and options, bitch gotta either accept what you doing or reject it. And then I'll be like, go find another nigga for that. I ain't got no time for this shit. Messing with these motherfucking birdhead ass. Anyway. Yo, I think that's it for today. My neighbors out here probably complaining about this. I was up at 6 a.m. with you guys, man. My neighbor probably been listening to me since 6 a.m. All right, shout out to him. It is now 10 a.m. in the morning, 10 a.m. in the morning in Sydney, Australia. Okay, it's Sunday, by the way. Sunday, 10 a.m. We're in the future. You're listening to the Notorious One. Thank you for joining me over the weekend. We should be back. We might stream on Monday, but I got Money Mindset on Monday because Monday, we're going to be Monday, but it's going to be Sunday there. We're also going to do locals at a non-predictable time. So be prepared for the local stream. But Money Mindset will be at the normal time, but it's going to be Monday afternoon when I'm broadcasting it. Shout out to the Coach Gang. Next time I'm streaming, probably I'm going to be in another country. Okay. Hit the like button on the way out. Good day, mates. Peace.
And you're in the Desert Storm bunker with Hollywood CGA.
Legends ain't born, they built from the grind. From benches to banners, we sharpen the mind. We sharpen the sword and promise and swore that we going hard and leaving it all on the floor. Hey, yeah, we going hard and leaving it all on the floor. Hey, yeah, we going hard and leaving it all on the floor. Legends ain't born, they built from the grind. From benches to banners, we sharpen the mind. We sharpen the sword and promise and swore that we going hard and leaving it all on the floor.